my darlings. How are you? I hope that you are doing amazing. It's DarlingDTarot bringing you another pick a card reading. So for today, we are going to be getting right into this and asking the question, where will you be in the next 10 years? So not only will we be covering what your life will look like, but we will also be talking about who you will be overall, what your energies will be like, and what your life overall will be attracting into. Also, what your spirit guides want you to know. So as per usual, we have three beautiful piles here, stack 1, stack 2, and stack 3. Now you can choose based off of the energy of the pile, the number of the pile, or the items associated with each stack. Today I decided to do both crystals with a crystal animal and plus a pendant for each one. So for stack 1, we have the beautiful opalite crystal with this quartz frog, and we also have the Sailor Moon pendant. I will show you really quick. For stack 2, we have this beautiful Amazonite with this little cat. I feel like it's a cat statue. And we also have this really pretty honey globe kind of pendant. It also always reminds me of a globe with honey on it. For stack 2, we have this beautiful heart locket, which is also a clock. And with that, we have carnelian and also this little elephant. So you can choose any of these piles, but first, let's take a deep breath in. Let's hold it. And release. And with that, I will give you a few seconds to choose. I also want to remind you guys that you can choose as many piles as you want or that resonate with you. If you choose a pile and it doesn't resonate, you can always come back and choose another. And you can even choose all three if you feel drawn to all of them. So I will give you a few seconds to choose, and then I will see you at your pick. Bye for now. Hello to everyone who picked stack 1. Let's get right into your reading and see what will your life look like in 10 years. So right off the bat, I love that you chose the Sailor Moon pendant with the frog crystal. This is talking about metamorphosis, growth, and change. And the fact that those of you that chose this stack are going to be experiencing new avenues in your life, new opportunities, and new potential in regards to love, career, and also home life. I feel like those of you that picked the stack, you might be moving house, you might be moving to a brand new state, a brand new country, maybe some of you are also just going to be buying a brand new house, moving in with someone, maybe just even taking a commitment to the next level. And those are all very big, large, gigantic undertakings, right? I don't know why I use so many adjectives there, but I definitely feel like for some of you, you're going to start getting very excited about the change. Even when the universe throws you things, I think you're going to handle it very graciously and in a way that doesn't overwhelm you. I think you're going to only bite off what you can chew. You're not going to overwhelm yourself going forward. For those of you as well, I feel like you're going to start being very truthful and honest about what it is that you want out of life, what it is that you want going forward as well. Do you see how beautiful this opalite is? And you know, how clear it is, how translucent. You can see perfectly through it. But at the same time, it's still showing all of these beautiful colors. And I feel like that's your energy. You know, it's this energy of, I'm going to be very truthful. What you see is what you get, but I'm not going to put on a show for you. And that's something that people are really going to gravitate towards you for. Now, also with this Sailor Moon pendant, if we look, there's 4 different crystals here that represent different elements, and I feel like that's going to be your energy. You're coming in harmony with all the different aspects of yourself, the good, the bad, what you want more of in your life, what you don't. You know, you're just really coming to terms in general. You're coming into harmony with yourself and feeling at peace. And how beautiful is that? You're really loving where you are in life in 10 years, and you're really loving your surroundings. So let's go forward. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if you're like a foodie foodie in the future, if you're a foodie now. But I can see you eating a lot of really good food, having a lot of good times, meeting a lot of people. So going on to your first two cards, these are going to be your Druid Animal Oracle cards, and these are talking about if we could describe who you are in the future, who would you be? We have the Hawk card and the Earth Dragon, which I love. Oh my goodness. So Earth Dragon right off the bat is talking about someone who craves stability, who craves comfort as well. You might have Taurus in your chart, maybe even just an Earth sign in general, which would be Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. You don't have to though. You could also have air, since we do have a hawk here. This would be Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. But again, you don't have to. But I think the beautiful thing is that with this Sailor Moon pendant, you know, this is really talking about someone who harnesses a beautiful aspect from each sign. Maybe you're really looking around you and you're taking notice of what makes other people beautiful, and you're saying, wow, I'd love to be more forthcoming. I'd love to be more open. I'd love to be more sensitive. I'd love to be more vulnerable. I'd love to be stronger. You know, and I feel like you're taking all of these characteristics and traits and you're putting them together, and you're really starting to rebuild yourself. You're using this constructive criticism as well from other people to turn yourself into the best version of yourself, almost like a polished version, right? Which is why we have this beautiful polished opalite. So going forward with the Hawk card as well, I feel like you're someone who is really starting to look at situations as a whole. You know, you're going to really be able to pick yourself up and really look at everything, look at the bigger picture and say, this is what I have to do going forward. I feel like you're someone who's really going to be stepping into your divine masculine as well, regardless of gender. You're going to be more headstrong. You're going to be able to kind of have this self-confidence and this self-awareness of, I'm ready to take on the world. I'm ready to do anything. I'm ready to, you know, get my thoughts out there as well. For some of you, you might be struggling with your throat chakra, or you might be struggling with just kind of getting your thoughts across in general, and that's something that's going to change. That's something that you're going to be almost rebirthed into a brand new life in. And yes, it can be scary, but that also brings us back to this frog crystal, because when a frog goes from the transformation of being a little tadpole into a frog, it's very painful to grow those limbs, to grow the arms and the legs, and to have to adapt to being on land, but somehow they do it, right? And they make the best of the situation, and then they have all that brand new area to frolic. And that's very much your energy as well. I feel like you also have this energy of wanting to explore, wanting to adventure, but wanting to have a home base. And that's something that you do very frequently. I feel like you're someone who is going to have opportunities to travel, who's going to have opportunities, you know, if you want to go to Disney World, you can go down there and you can do it. You know, you'll have enough money to be able to do that. And maybe some of you are just kind of like, yeah, sure. But like, that's literally what's going to happen. I feel like you're really going to focus on your career for a while during these 10 years. And you're really going to make a lot of wealth for yourself. Maybe you're going to put a little bit of money away as well, but you're going to surround yourself with material items. Make sure to clear your throat chakra as well, because throughout this reading, I just keep feeling like there's something in my throat, like there's something I want to say to someone. You know, like John Mayer says, say what you need to say, all right? Now with Hawk too, I also feel like you're someone who is very intuitive. So when the universe gives you red flags or shows you signs about someone, make sure to trust them over the next 10 years. I feel like that would be the advice of your future self. I feel like they would be saying, you know, listen to your instinct, listen to your gut. Don't second guess yourself. You are always correct in that regard, especially when it comes to career. I feel like maybe for some of you, there's someone who wants to keep you around long term, but they don't have any intention of, you know, maybe taking you to that next level, or maybe promoting you. So I feel like maybe in this regard, maybe some of you are deciding to go on to a career that's going to pay a lot more. Maybe it's something where you're literally traveling. Maybe you're a reviewer. Maybe you're a blogger. Maybe you're a YouTuber. But there's something that you're going to be doing where you're making enough to be able to survive, to be able to support yourself, to be able to, you know, live in your power and to be very comfortable with where you are, you know, and not have to worry about it too. You know, if you want to go ahead and buy that extra scoop of ice cream at Baskin-Robbins, go ahead and do it, right? You have the money to be able to do it. And I feel like that's the sort of energy that we have here. is that you're someone who is going to be incredibly blessed, incredibly abundant. So don't even worry about that. Now, another thing that I also want to say is that you're someone who is going to pick up on the signs very easily that you're on the right path and where to go. Maybe some of you are a little bit worried about like, but yeah, what career is it? How will I know? What should I be doing? And I definitely understand that frustration. You know, it can be something that's a little bit scary, looking out into the future and saying, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing long term? But, you know, the universe will show you little signs. Maybe you'll get ads about it online. Maybe it's something that you're just pulled to already. Maybe you watch videos about it online. Maybe you think about it. Maybe it's something that you just do as hobby. And the universe is saying there is a market for this. You know, make sure that you put yourself out there and, you know, you really pursue your dreams in that regard. You know, maybe even just putting yourself out there online. Some of you might be crafters. Maybe you're a crocheter. Maybe you knit. Maybe you needle tat. You know, go ahead and put your crafts online. You know, maybe even take a video of you painting, you know, and speed it up and put music to it. I feel like some of you are incredibly creative that picked this pile as well. Now, going on to Earth Dragon, I feel like you're going to have a lot of material comfortability around you. I know that's not a word, but we're going to pretend for a minute. You know, maybe this is even the energy of getting enough money to be able to go to IKEA and then just refurnish your whole house. You know, just decide to yourself, you know, I'm going to just have everything brand new. I'm going to have everything refurbished. I'm going to have everything beautiful and sparkly clean and wonderful, you know, and I'm not even going to worry about it. You know, maybe for some of you as well, you buy a little bit of a fixer-upper in regards to a house, and maybe some people even say to you, like, are you serious? You can't possibly be buying that. And you just kind of roll your eyes at them because you know that you can turn this house into a home. You know that you can make it beautiful, not only because you have all the knickknacks, but because your energy is beautiful, because you're going to fill the space with intention and with love. A lot of you as well are also going to be, you know, maybe just remodeling it in general. Maybe some of you are going to start fixing up houses and selling them. Maybe some of you are going to get into realty. But there's definitely going to be this energy of having enough and being able to provide for yourself and provide for the people that you love. If you already have a family, I feel like you're going to feel, you know, very capable in providing for them. Those of you that are looking for a partner as well, I feel like you're going to kind of attract someone who has very like-minded opinions about working and about, you know, maybe relaxing as well, because I feel like both of you are very work hard, play hard in the future, the person that you're going to be with, for those of you that are interested. And I just kind of want to put it out there. And I feel like that's because you're not going to settle for less. You're no longer going to settle for people who play games, because you're quite happy being by yourself. You're quite happy living your own life and living your own dreams, which is so beautiful, right? So, going on to your next card, this is your Secrets of the Mystic Grove card, and this is talking about the overall energy of where you will be at in 10 years. So we have the number 12 Celebrate Mystery card. Woohoo! So I love this card. I love that we're pretty much on the same color scheme here too, with all of the oranges, the greens. Honestly, there are so many beautiful colors that just kind of go throughout this reading. So I feel like you're really going to be really down to earth. I feel like you're going to attract really humble people as well, but it's because you are really standing in your self-authenticity and you're standing in your power. Now it says, trust the journey, unexpected and secrets. I feel like there's going to be a lot of surprises thrown your way. And again, maybe that's even why we have so many pendants that are kind of representing the fact that you're going through change, you're going through metamorphosis, and you're going to experience brand new gifts the universe thinks that you're finally ready for. So over the next 10 years with the number 12, which would be the number 3, you're finding self-peace, you're finding harmony. And I feel like you're no longer having to, you know, look out into the future and say, well, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? You're just kind of letting go and allowing yourself to go with the flow, allowing yourself to trust the journey and enjoy the journey, enjoy the time that you have here, be very present in the moment. But I feel like you're really going to make leaps and bounds here, especially since we have a cheetah here. I feel like you're going to just kind of spring into forward movement. You're going to achieve those goals, and then you're going to come home at the end of the day, and you're going to really appreciate your successes. You're going to be able to take comfort in them as well. Now, with secrets too, I feel like people are going to come to you with their secrets. Maybe they want to gain clarity from you. Maybe in a few years, people see you as someone to look up to because of the fact that you're doing so good. allow them to come to you with these problems. Be that listening ear. I feel like a lot of people really look up to you, and a lot of people are inspired by you regardless of if you knew it or not. I feel like all you have to do is look behind you, and all of these people are following you. All of these people are looking up to you. Maybe you're even a trendsetter in day-to-day life. You are kind of that leader energy. That's even why we have Hawk, because it's like you can go out, you can get the kill, you can, make that hunt and eat for the day, but then you can retreat back into your cave and be an earth dragon, right? Just kind of be by yourself. And I feel like that's so beautiful. Over the next 10 years, you're just going to trust the journey, and you're going to trust that everything happens the way that it's supposed to. So going forward, we also have the Sun card. Now, this is talking about if we could use one card to represent you out of the whole deck, what would it be in 10 years? Now, the Sun is beautiful. So not only are you someone who is going to be very awakened, enlightened, you might even meditate, you might be just very spiritually aware. Maybe for some of you, you're going to pursue a career being a psychic as well. But for others, maybe you're deciding to open a daycare, maybe you're deciding to work at a daycare, to be a teacher. I really, really do feel like with the Sun, you're just happy. There's just a lot of happiness in your life. And maybe you're just feeling so content that any kind of changes that come your way, it's okay, because you already have enough love in your life. You already are happy with who you are. You're happy with what has happened leading up to this point. There's just this energy of contentedness and knowing that there's enough. There's enough to go around for everyone. I feel like you're also someone in the future who's very generous. So if someone comes to you, and maybe needs help with money, I feel like you're someone who goes ahead and you offer it to them without any second thought, without any hesitation. If you're standing in line at the store and someone doesn't have enough money, if you have it in your pocket, I feel like you are someone who will say to them, hey, I would love to buy your groceries. I just feel like you're someone who is constantly giving. You're someone who constantly thanks the universe as well that there is more than enough. And maybe that's what also brings in the manifestations a lot faster, is the fact that you are so grateful, you're so full of gratitude and so full of appreciation for what you already have, that the universe says, wow, thank you for that. Here are all of these blessings to come. So continue to practice your manifestations. Also work with the law of attraction in regards to affirmations. I feel like that is a really wonderful thing. Now going forward, onto your next three cards, these are your Wiseful Tarot cards, and these are talking about what your life will look like in 10 years. So we have the Fool card. Look at that. So I started off the reading saying that I wouldn't be surprised if the Fool card is here, and look at that. We also have the Four of Clubs, which is the Four of Wands, and the Nine of Hearts, which is the Nine of Chalices. Okay, so right off the bat with the Fool card, oh my goodness, brand new beginnings. Again, you are someone who doesn't mind any of the changes, any of the mystery, any of the, kind of wrenches that the universe will throw into the works, because you see it as something exciting. You see it as something of a new adventure, something to get very, excited about just going forward. You're trusting the journey, and you're trusting that you're someone who, knows where you're going. You're trusting your intuition. You're trusting the universe to guide you where you're supposed to be. Now also with the Fool card, I feel like some of you might be adopting more fur babies. I just kind of wanted to throw that out there, especially with the Nine of Cups. I love that we have so many animals appearing here, but I definitely feel like there's going to be new opportunities in regards to career, also in regards to romance. Whatever it is that you want, but the Four of Wands in traditional tarot is talking about, it could be a marriage, it could be celebrations, but it's also saying that you are laying the foundation for a solid house. To have a house, you need 4 posts in the ground, and that's what you're doing. I feel like you're really taking mental inventory and mental stock of what it is that you want more of as well, and what it is that you don't want to focus on, and you're focusing your energy only on things that make you happy, only on things that fulfill you, and that's what's bringing all of these beautiful blessings into your life. That's actually why we have the Sun here. Maybe every morning you're going to have kind of a tea ceremony where you drink tea, or you drink coffee, or maybe just have some orange juice, and during that time you think about all the things in your life that are going beautiful, all the things that you're very thankful for, and all the things that you still have yet to accomplish, that you're still waiting to succeed at, that you're still bringing and drawing into your life. utilize the law of attraction in that way. Talk about it in your affirmations as well as if it has already happened. If you're someone who wants to open a dog spa, say, I have opened a dog spa, I'm opening a dog spa, I'm opening a dog spa. Say it like that, say it a few times, even in multiples of 4, since we have the 4 of clubs here. Now, with the 4 of clubs as well, this really makes me think of the duality as well between not only divine masculine and divine feminine, but between logic and emotion, between logic and spirituality. And maybe for some of you, you're learning how to balance it in a very healthy way, so that you can make very balanced decisions going forward when you want to start over brand new. But again, I feel like a lot of you are going to be adventuring. You're going to be absolutely loving life, and it's because you can manifest anything. This Fool here, is representing that he can bring anything into his life just because he's having a good time, just because he's trusting himself and trusting that the universe is going to take him into the right direction. Now, with the 9 of chalices as well, this is talking about self-fulfillment. 9s are usually wish fulfillments in general. So it's already a very, very nice omen. But it's definitely saying that you are someone who can fulfill your own dreams. You are someone who fills your own cup. So you're not overly worried about a partner in the future. I feel like you're someone who's very content being independent, being single. Maybe for some of you, you come out of a relationship and you just kind of decide, I'm going to spend some time being a bachelor or bachelorette. I'm going to enjoy the single life. I'm going to see what's out there. And maybe for some of you, you're just deciding, I'm going to just focus on my career. I'm going to just focus on myself. I'm going to pamper myself. I'm going to love myself. And that's what's going to bring in the right person when you are potentially ready for that. Maybe this is also saying that you're someone who is still going towards your career. You're still wanting to go towards more. And that's very, very beautiful. So going forward onto your next few cards, these are your Crow Tarot cards. And these are talking about what the journey will look like over the next 10 years. So we have the Queen of Cups, the 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of Pentacles. Sorry, I always have to count it for a second. The Page of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Cups. Beautiful. So right off the bat, over the next 10 years, I feel like there's going to be some disappointments. Maybe you're going to feel like you're shut out in the cold by someone who, maybe you thought that you could have a future with. Maybe that's even why I was picking up on that. Someone that you thought that you could even marry. And maybe there's this energy of maybe they ghost you. Maybe they just decide one day, I don't think that I want a commitment like that. I don't think that I want to settle down. I don't think that I want to have these responsibilities. So it left you having to pick up the pieces. It left you having to wonder why this happened or why this transpired. But regardless, it happened for a reason. Now, I do have to say, I feel like over the 10 years, there's going to be a period of time where you're focusing on the lack, or where you're focusing on maybe this past thing that happened, why did this happen? Why did this happen? But Spirit really wants you to know that there's still something very beautiful behind you. Always look behind you. Remember how I was saying that earlier? Maybe you're someone who doesn't even think that there's anyone that's following you, that you feel like you're alone sometimes. Well, look behind you. You have so much love. You have so much appreciation. You have so much generosity being shown to you as well, if you would just look behind you. Maybe it's not the romantic, stable love that you would want, but it's definitely love. It's definitely something beautiful. And I love that we have 2 5s here with this court card. So it's definitely talking about change all around. Especially with the number 5s, you're definitely going to be going through a lot of growth through these, though. You're going to be gaining a lot of wisdom and a lot of understanding about what it is that you actually do want in regards to a partnership, what it is that you want more of. Do you want someone who's generous? Do you want someone who's sweet? Do you want someone who's kind and caring? And allow yourself to, really be picky with who it is that you choose. I said that for one of the other piles as well. But allow yourself to be picky. Allow yourself to, kind of have your pick of all of these opportunities or all of these options, because you are someone who is loving and considerate, compassionate, and just so incredible. I love that we have a lotus flower there as well, because it makes me feel like even though you have been through these trials and tribulations, you have been through opposition, or people trying to hold you down, or people trying to tell you that you can't do this or you can't do that, or people, maybe even taking opportunities away from you. This doesn't have to be romantic. This could literally be that someone maybe offers you, a financial position, or offers you a position in general, and then they decide, sorry, I don't really think that you're a good fit. Or maybe they say, sorry, we have too many people, so maybe you should find something else. You know, that's something that's going to really be hard, but at the same time, you have to remember that you are very valuable, you are very important, and you have a lot to bring to the table. That's why we have this Nine of Pentacles here, because honestly, if you went to this job, it wouldn't have been a good thing. You know, for some of you, maybe there's going to be this big judgment call where you have to decide, do I go towards this, you know, 9 to 5 job where it's just like I'm like every other Joe Schmo, they don't know my name, they don't appreciate me, you know, or do I want to do something where I'm being paid good, where I'm being respected, where I'm being appreciated and taken care of, you know, and strive towards that, right? Maybe for some of you, this is also going back to school. And for some of you, maybe you're just kind of like, ugh, I don't want to do that. And maybe that's also the energy over the next 10 years is just sort of like, ugh, I don't want to have to do it, but I have to do it at the same time, you know, but I think you're going to do it from the comfort of your own home and very excitedly too. You know, for what it's worth. Maybe it's also this energy of, you know, when you're leaving the house to go do that, or when you're kind of first getting started, you feel a little bit nervous, which is why we have the Earth Dragon, which is why we have a little bit of hesitation here. But once you get used to it, you get really excited, and I feel like you step into your full potential, you step into your power, and you shine, right? You shine bright like a diamond. Now, with the Nine of Pentacles, this is also a wish fulfillment in regards to money, in regards to finances, and in regards to career. You're going to be somewhere where you're appreciated, where you're respected, where you get recognition, where you get enough money as well to be able to support yourself. In the next 10 years, you're going to potentially even have a retirement here. Honestly, I feel like you're just going to be very well taken care of, and you're going to be basking in the glow of your life and all of the blessings and abundances that you have on your way. So, going on to your next few cards, these are your Botticelli Tarot cards, and these are talking about what your spirit guides want you to know in regards to the next 10 years. But I love that we have 2 9s. They're 2 wish fulfillments. So definitely a wish is being granted. We have the Knave of Swords, the 5 of Swords, the 4 of Wands. Again, I love it. The Judgment card and the 10 of Swords. All right. So there's definitely, remember how I said earlier, there's some form of judgment call where you have to decide where it is to go. I love that we have judgment here, because it's literally the universe being like, okay, it's time to make a decision, you know, and they're really weighing down on you and saying, what is it that you're going to do? You know, where are you going? What are you doing? And it's almost like you're waking up out of a deep slumber or a deep sleep and saying, oh wow, I do have to get going. Where am I going? What am I doing? You know, and maybe it takes this ending to be able to get to that next level in your life. You know, maybe it takes you having to literally renew yourself, to be reborn, to have this really big change, because in judgment as well, these are all corpses, and now the universe is bringing them back to life. They're being reincarnated. They're being brought back from the dead, and that's your energy. You're reinventing yourself, reinventing what it is that makes you you, what it means to be you as well. And I feel like, again, the right people are going to be following you, because you're standing in your power, because you're leaving kind of a trail behind you that are going to draw in the right people at the right time. Now, with the 5 of Swords, this also makes me think of a few things. One is the quote, rejection is the God's protection. I just feel like that is really, really awesome here. And also with the 5 of Swords, it makes me feel like every defeat that you have is just so that you become a little bit stronger for your next victory, right? And that is so true with all of these energies. Even though we have the 10 of Swords, she's down here, you know, maybe you even kind of were pleading, you know, either with that boss or maybe with someone in the future, just like, hey, can you stay in my life, or can we do this, can we do that? But the universe is like, no, you know, we're doing this for a reason. We're not doing this to smite you. We're not doing this to be rude. We want to do this because you deserve something better than this. You know, honestly, it's because you deserve something better. And there's something that's laid out, you know, there's something more. And that's why we have the 4 of Wands right here, because it's like, they want you to have a stable foundation. They want you to be able to go home at the end of the day and feel good about yourself, feel comfortable with where you're at as well. Now, with the 4 of Wands too, those of you that have the ability to be pregnant, definitely I feel like maybe there is a potential to be able to do that. Maybe some of you are going to be adopting. Maybe some of you are going to be taking on some fur babies, or maybe you're going to be taking on some, you know, some fish babies, or, you know, regardless, I definitely feel like there's this nurturing energy, but I also see this as nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself, self-love, no longer having to go back to self-sabotage because it's comfortable. Sometimes self-sabotage doesn't have to be something you like willingly know. It could just be, maybe you're drawn to people who are non-committal because of the fact that it's more comfortable. It doesn't even have to be that scenario, but just throwing it out there. But I definitely feel like the right people are going to follow you, and you're definitely going to be recognized on social media. For some of you, you're definitely going to be a social media influencer or someone who has a lot of subscribers. Maybe you're someone who has like a fan base, or maybe you're someone who just has a lot of recognition for a job well done. It could even be that you make a Facebook page and maybe you do lives. Maybe you're someone who makes resin crafts, or maybe you're someone who sells your plants. Maybe you even make a brand new orange tree or something, but there's going to be some form of claim to fame because of your hard work, and you're going to be recognized for that. And I feel like a lot of people are really going to want to follow you. They're really going to want to just admire you, right? Just basically. So going forward as well, your spirit guides say everything happens for a reason. Don't sweat it, just keep moving forward. Be like a shark in that regard. Just keep moving forward. So going on to your next few cards before we cover your tea leaf tarot cards. These are your enchanted tarot cards in closing messages. I think I said that a few times. I'm sorry. We have the Two of Wands, the Strength card, the Five of Wands, the High Priestess, the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Fool. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I love that we have double Fool here. Double confirmation that your life is going to be very adventurous, very exciting, and you're going to go through a lot of growth still. I feel like it's not going to just be at a certain age, you've learned it all, and that's that, and you're retired, and yada yada. Like, I feel like you're always going to spice up your life. Maybe at a certain age, you're going to decide, I'm going to get a houseboat, and I'm going to sail off to Japan. Like, maybe it's that sort of an energy. I don't know. But regardless, I definitely feel like with the Fool, you're ready for anything. You're prepared for any adventure, any excitement, any kind of challenge that is thrown at you. Also with the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords, I feel like you're going to have a brand new opportunity in regards to career, in regards to a stable foundation. And I feel like it's because you're a good conversationalist. I feel like you're also someone who is an incredible writer. Some of you are authors. Some of you might even be maybe you're going to work with a publicist to kind of get your work out there. Maybe some of you make a children's book based off of a lion, I don't know, or just like a child book in general. Get your thoughts out there. Really put it out there. I feel like the universe is really going to steer you in the right direction towards the right people to be able to accomplish this as well. Now, with the aces, this is again talking about fresh new beginnings, and I love that it's paired with the Fool. Now, with the High Priestess, keep following your intuition. Your intuition is giving you the right signs, the correct messages. Always follow that and always trust that, especially with the Five of Wands and the Strength card. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Allow yourself to be appreciated as well, but make sure that the care and compassion that you show others, you're also turning inwards to yourself. I also want to say that those of you that kind of bottle up your emotions, allow your emotions to be honored and allow your emotions to be felt. They're very valid, and it's very important that you express that. Even if you're just alone listening to music, it's incredibly important to feel your emotions and to respect them, right? Now, we also have the Two of Wands with the Five of Wands, so very passionate energy here. I feel like with the Two of Wands, there's going to be a decision that has to be made. It could even be between a few suitors. It could be someone's coming back. It could be that someone in the future, maybe you have a few different people. Maybe you're Bella from Twilight and you literally have Jacob and Edward fighting over you. But regardless, I feel like there has to be a decision that has to be made. Someone is going to literally be like, here, take my wand. And it's like, which wand do I take though? So really make sure that you don't settle for less. Make sure to take mental inventory of all of the situations that you've been in the past. It could even be two job opportunities. Maybe there's two different areas, in your life. Like maybe you are a barber, but at the same time you want to go off and, work in criminal investigation, so it's like, ooh, do I want to book Jerry for Tuesday at 3 p.m. Or do I want to go off and start my career as a lawyer? Or do I want to start my career as, a judge? Or, I just feel like there's this energy of, having to make a choice here between two lifestyles. Maybe where you're at a certain point in time, it only gets to a certain point. Maybe you're a CNA and you're saying to yourself, okay, well, I love being a CNA. I love helping people, but how cool would it be if I just go to school for 4 or 5 years more and then I become a nurse, or I become a social worker, or I become this, or I become that, or I become a doctor or a surgeon. So I definitely feel like, look at your avenues, look at where it is that you want to potentially go in the future, where it is that you want to go moving forward. So going on to your tea leaf tarot cards, there are so many beautiful blessings coming your way though, and you guys are so intelligent. I very much feel like you're going to carve your own path in this life. You're going to be a trendsetter, right? Now going forward, we have grapes. Time to go out and have fun. Beautiful. So allow yourself to enjoy the moment. Allow yourself to be present. I feel like is kind of the main theme over the next 10 years. There we go. Kite, vacation. So you're definitely going to be traveling. You're going to be experiencing the world, experiencing maybe even brand new cultures as well. Now we also have door. Opportunities are waiting for you. I just started hearing in my head, love is an open door, right? So maybe some of you are going to just kind of stumble upon this person by chance and be like, oh, hey, let's talk. And then it kind of develops into something. September, do you remember the 21st night of September? But regardless, maybe there's something going on in September. Maybe some of you have your birthday in September. Maybe there's going to be a wedding in September. Maybe you guys are going to maybe even vacation in September somewhere. Let's see. Now we also have stork, which, wow, so maybe there's a baby born in September, so this could be Virgo or Libra your baby could potentially be, or maybe just a baby in general, your future baby. With stork, I also want to say that with news of a birth or a business opportunity, I definitely feel like there's going to be room in your life for expanding your horizons in whichever way that it is that you want to go. I feel like those of you that pick this pile, you would be amazing mom or dads. I feel like you would just be absolutely incredible in this lifetime. You would really raise someone who would go on to do amazing things. So if that's something that you want to pursue, definitely do that, right? I know in the future, I would definitely love to adopt if that's something that my partner would want to do. Obviously when we're old though, I wouldn't want to do that young. But with stork, it's definitely talking about a brand new business opportunity as well for those of you who don't want to have children over the next 10 years. But I definitely feel like you guys are going to a brand new mindset in regards to business as well, and in regards to what it is that you want going forward. So we also have spear, heartache over what you no longer have. So it could be, again, maybe you're looking back at all the doors that have closed and you're looking forward and saying, yeah, but I really miss that door. Like, that door was so pretty. Like, I know I have all these other doors in front of me, but like that door, whoa, I like that door. Now we have fair man, dealings or relationship with a man with blonde, gray, or white hair. So it could be that this person. It could even be that maybe that's what you're missing. You're longing for this person. It could be romantic. It could just be someone who's in your family. For some of you, it could be a father figure. It could be a grandfather. It could be a best friend as well. We do have throne, position of authority. So again, it could literally be a father figure. It does not have to be, but it could also be talking about in regards to your work. How I was saying that, sometimes the universe will close off a situation or block a situation from us. So then that way we can go on to something better. That's why we have throne here, because you're supposed to be so much more. J.K. Rowling, before she wrote Harry Potter, she was a single mother. She had to work a lot of extra jobs to be able to take care of herself and her children. And in that time, she would go to this coffee shop and she would just write all of her ideas on napkins, and then she would go home later on and then she would write them. So I think that's really interesting. It's almost like the universe was like, we're gonna block you, just enough to where, you have enough time to be able to spend there to kind of gather your thoughts together. We're going to push you to rely on your creativity, and that's what's going to bring you to the next level. So maybe that's even the same energy that we have here. We might even have some single parents here that are kind of pursuing brand new opportunities in regards to university, in regards to career, in regards to study. Definitely take that up, right? Now going forward, we also have target, a goal-oriented person. Could be that fair man, or it could be you. I feel like it's going to be you, though, to be honest, especially since we have that hawk energy. I feel like you're someone who has your eye on the prize. Teapot, deep friendship with someone of the same sex. So I definitely feel like someone is going to come into your life if you don't already have a very, very deep friendship with someone like that. I feel like someone's going to come into your life that's really going to help you with perspective. Maybe that's even why we have so many hawks in the hawk card, or actually not so many. There's actually just one. So maybe it's someone that's exactly like you, someone who comes along and is just sort of like, hey, this is what I think about this situation. I think that you're someone who's absolutely incredible. Maybe they even give you a pep talk. They make you feel a lot better. Now we have claw, be careful, do not take risks. Bouquet, compliments from an admirer. So it could be that maybe you have a friend that you really admire. It could be this fair man. It could be this deep friendship with someone of the same sex. It could be anyone. It could even be someone who was born in September. Now we have peacock, beware of great pride. It could be that this person is very prideful. It could even be that their ego is still a little bit big, and maybe that's even why you're like, okay, come back when you're a little bit more mature, come back when you're ready, right? And why you're just so happy just kind of going about your business and being independent. Career, again, you're focusing on your career, you're focusing on yourself. I think that you have a lot of admirers, but you're not really buying into it. You're not really wanting any of it right now. You're just sort of like, it's okay. But we do have rabbit, too much concern with sexual matters. So maybe for some of you, you're playing the field. Maybe for some of you, you're deciding to just kind of see where things go with a few different people. But for those of you that are not trying to get pregnant, definitely keep that under wraps, so to speak. With it says family wishes come true. So there's definitely going to be a lot of wishes coming your way, especially in regards to your family. Maybe you're going to have a bigger family. Maybe you're going to, have some children. Maybe you're going to get news that someone in your family is expecting. Now we have fire, strong emotion, passionate love, or hate. Beautiful. So I feel like it's going to be passionate love because of this bouquet, just because we already had a card that was talking about compliments from a secret admirer. I feel like someone really has the hots for you. They really care about you a lot. Maybe they're even a little bit obsessed, right? Now we do have table, hard work ahead, but I feel like you're fully prepared. We have 2 tables here. Now we also have inkpot, problems to be resolved. So maybe there is a little bit of passionate hate here as well. Maybe someone has a bone to pick with you. Maybe someone wants to talk to you about something that you have done in the past. Whoa! Marriage! Whoa! That's crazy. Okay, so, wow. Okay, so yeah, there's definitely strong emotion here. Someone's getting married. Going to the chapel and we're gonna get married. And maybe it's something that you don't even expect to, because I wasn't expecting that whatsoever. I knew that you guys would settle down with someone, but at the same time, whoa, that's incredible. Wow. We have February too, so it could be that you're having a February wedding. Maybe you want to get married for Valentine's Day. Maybe you guys even get engaged in September and then married in February. It could even be kind of a whirlwind romance where it's like the two of you just meet, you hit it off, the two of you are so alike, and then you just kind of want to settle down. You don't even have to get married right off the bat, but I feel like the two of you are definitely going to talk about it. You're going to discuss it. If you have children, I feel like this person is really going to love your children like their own. They might even have children of their own, so you might become kind of like the Brady Bunch, which I love. I'm here for it. So with the marriage card too, this is definitely talking about, maybe a marriage between you and your career, taking that to the next level, but I definitely feel like someone's going to come in, maybe even in February, and want to sweep you off your feet. There you go. And firecracker, it's going to bring a lot of excitement. It's going to make you very, very happy. This is someone who is very much worth the wait over the next 10 years. And maybe that's even why we have the Earth Dragon here, because it's like everything is taken care of. Everything is as it should be. Everything is happy. Everything is nice. So yeah, definitely let me know what you think of this pile number 1. Oh my goodness, what an incredible reading. I definitely wish you guys all the best of luck. There's so much abundance coming your way, especially in regards to love. Look at that, hubba hubba. But if you enjoyed this, definitely leave a comment down below letting me know if this resonated, or if you claim this reading, or if you, would like this in your life over the next 10 years. Tell the universe, I want this. I want this beautiful divine marriage while I'm being independent, while I'm achieving my own goals. There's going to be a lot of respect in this marriage too. Regardless, definitely leave a comment down below. I love hearing what you guys have to say. I look forward to every comment, and I read each and every single one. I'm so grateful for you guys. I love you guys so, so much. I hope that you're doing amazing and staying in good health, that you're taking care of yourself. Remember to be gentle with yourself, right? All of my links are in the description box down below if you would like a personalized reading or want to see any of the crafts that I make or my wish list. Hit subscribe if you have not already, and the bell icon to be notified every time that I upload a brand new reading, and hit the like button if you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care of yourself, okay? Bye! Hello to everyone who chose stack 2. Let's get right into your reading and see what will your life look like over the next 10 years. So right off the bat, I love that you chose the honey globe pendant and this Amazonite crystal. Also the cat crystal, which talks about independence, someone who can stand on their own 2 feet, someone who can make their own shmoney and not have to worry about relying on another person. I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be just incredibly, incredibly happy and comfortable with where you're at in regards to your finances and also your at-home life. I wouldn't be surprised if you are pretty happy with everything that's going on in 10 years. You're just going to be completely content. Maybe even when you look back in 10 years, you're going to be thinking to yourself, man, I wish that I had just kind of stopped and enjoyed the moment a little bit more. I was a little bit present. I didn't worry as much because I feel like maybe for some of you that picked this pile, you're a little bit of overthinkers. Maybe you're someone who gets a little bit frustrated as well if things aren't just so. And over the next 10 years, you're really going to learn how to go with the flow, how to just be yourself. Do you notice how this Amazonite isn't polished? So it doesn't look like every other pretty crystal out there, but when the light catches it just right, you see just how beautiful this can actually be. And that's your energy. You're no longer going to be explaining yourself to people. You're no longer going to be playing it up or, having to show someone what your worth is. You're going to say, when the right person comes around, they're going to know my worth. They're going to know that I deserve so much. And this is also talking about maybe relationships. Maybe those of you that picked this stack, you haven't had the best relationships in the past. And now someone is going to be coming forward over the next 10 years that is going to really uplift you, that's going to inspire you, and that's going to match your level, because I feel like you're someone who really wants to be independent, but also have someone that you can kind of settle down with at the end of the day. And maybe that is going to be someone that you find over the next 10 years. Someone who can be an adventure buddy and a kind of a partner in crime, if you will, as well. I feel like you're also going to be a little bit lost for words because it's so exciting. You're almost going to just want to jump right into adventures with this person, right? They're almost going to sweep you off your feet, but in a good way, because you're going to be attracting people that don't polish themselves for others. You're not going to be attracting people who, maybe even might abuse their power with you or take you for granted anymore. Maybe for some of you, could only be a select few. Maybe you've dealt with narcissists in the past because you were an empath and they felt very drawn to you. So you're going to be kind of meeting people who are also empathetic, who are understanding, who are caring, who love animals, who love the outdoors. For a lot of you too, I feel like you might be becoming a park ranger, maybe a paleontologist, maybe you're someone who has your own kayak business, or maybe even a hammock shop. But regardless, I feel like you're going to be spending a lot more time outside and maybe literally going on hikes, becoming more active. Maybe you're someone who might even take on like CrossFit. I just feel like you're really going to love being outside, being in the fresh air, being in the open space, and really feeling the energy of the earth. There's really this energy of peace and calm too, but also excitement. You're going to be excited about what life throws at you. You're no longer going to be feeling like, oh my gosh, what is this next obstacle that's coming? You're going to be like, yeah, bring it on. And like, as I say that, I look over and there's this pin of the Hulk and he's like, yeah. And I feel like that's kind of your energy over the next 10 years is like, yeah, let's do it. You're just really excited. You're rip-roaring ready to go. And I love that energy here. Now, also, maybe some of you are going to be becoming beekeepers. I could have done a little bee pun there. But regardless, I feel like for some of you, you're just going to really be appreciating the outdoors, and things are going to be coming together so beautifully. Notice how this pendant and the Amazonite match so nicely. This is going to be a really wonderful time for tying up those loose ends, for things fitting together perfectly like puzzle pieces. And just being able to be authentic and unique to yourself, and, and not have to prove yourself to others. Now, going forward onto your first card, this is your Druid Animal Oracle card, and this is talking about your overall energy and who you will be in 10 years. So we have the Stag card. Woohoo! That's amazing, because it really does reflect into what we were talking about with this cat pendant, or crystal. I feel like that is very much your energy. You are standing on your own 2 feet. You're taking care of yourself. You're taking care of your community too. For some of you, you're going to have this new level of authority, and maybe it's going to be a little bit surprising at first, because you thought to yourself, am I really cut out for this? But you are. You're someone who is incredibly strong, incredibly courageous, and very brave. So don't doubt yourself for a minute. The stag is also the protector and the guardian of the forest, the guardian of the secrets, if you will. And I feel like that's also your energy. You're going to be honoring your intuition, honoring your spirituality, and you're going to be listening to yourself first. You are going to be the light that guides you through the dark forests and through the tough times. And how nice is that? Also, with going forward, I again notice the mountains in the background, but it doesn't seem to bother the stag whatsoever. The stag is just sort of like, yeah, I've climbed mountains and I'll climb them again. I will do, all of these trials, all of these hardships over again if it meant that I would gain wisdom, if it meant that I will mature more. You're just really becoming very, very mature. You are becoming a very enlightened individual in the next 10 years too. For some of you, you might even be taking on a career in regards to spirituality. For some of you, you might be literally mediums. You might be using divinatory tools such as tea leaves, tarot cards, oracle cards, maybe even pendulums as well. But it's going to be a really wonderful time for getting your thoughts out there, for standing up for yourself, and not taking no for an answer too. In regards to career, I feel like if someone says to you, I don't know if you can open up that new hot dog stand, you're going to go out there and just do it. You're not even going to tell anyone about it. You're just going to go out there, buy that hot dog stand, and start serving hot dogs. And then your friend is going to come around and be like, oh, gee, Jacob, when did you do that? And you're like, oh, I did it years ago. Don't even worry about it, But it's that sort of an energy. It's a can-do energy. There's nothing that life can throw your way that you won't be able to handle. So, going on to your next card, this is your Secrets of the Mystic Grove card. There we go, Unity. It talks about the overall energy space that you're going to be in as well. So, I feel like this is unity with yourself and also with a partner. Maybe you're someone, again, who is going to be meeting that soul connection, maybe even a twin flame. For some of you who have already met your twin flame, maybe you're going to be literally coming into union, especially if you have a long distance relationship or you have been separated, but it's also going to depend on how fast you can learn your lessons and if you mature as well at the same rate that they do. But I feel like you're going to be really at harmony with yourself, and that's what's going to start drawing in the right people at the right times too. Now, with the number 43, this is the number 7. Remember how we were talking about authenticity, uniqueness, and standing in your own inner power and inner truth? That is the number 7. When I think of the number 7, I also think of indigo children. I think of people who are incredibly connected to themselves. I feel like, and others, to nature, to animals, to plants. But I also see you as, maybe even someone who is a natural born leader, someone who could have seminars, someone who could maybe even have a workshop, someone who could teach people if you're really good at a certain hobby, or, maybe specialize in QuickBooks, or if you specialize in helping people online place grocery orders, find a way to turn that into a career. And, really going to be coming into harmony with your divine feminine and divine masculine aspects of yourself, to where, you are someone who can feel your emotions, be very intuitive, but you're also very headstrong, you're very courageous, you're very determined and dedicated. You're someone who can achieve those goals the first time around too. You know, maybe you're someone who in the past, you maybe stopped yourself. Maybe there was a little bit of an energy of procrastination. Maybe you were worried that you would say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, and you're no longer worried about that. I think that there's this understanding in 10 years that that is part of the beauty of what makes us human and part of the beauty of learning and growing as well. Now, with number 43, unity, it says connectedness, harmony, and equilibrium. So again, you're going to be very much in equilibrium with yourself and with others. I feel like people in your family are also going to be coming to you in the next 10 years or over the next 10 years and just saying to you, hey, you've done really amazing. You're going to get a lot of recognition for the hard work that you've put in. But maybe even people are going to start coming to you for advice and start coming to you, maybe looking up to you, seeing you as a role model. Maybe it'll even be a little bit surprising. Some of you who have older siblings, maybe they're going to come to you in 10 years time and say, oh my gosh, like, I'm so proud of you. I just don't even know what to do. And I look at you and everything looks so put together and everything looks so good, right? And maybe people are going to be saying that to you in general. Is how do you manage to do this? But it's just going to be that you're stepping into your power, you're finding harmony in yourself, and you're no longer having to look outside of yourself or prove yourself to others to find your self-worth and to feel happy with who you are. Now, going forward, we're going to cover your animal totem card, and this is talking about you overall. If we could sum you up into one card, we have the Eight of Cups, which is salmon energy, which is an incredible card to get because, again, it very much ties back into the number 7, where you are following your instinct, you're trusting your intuition, and you are going wherever the universe is going to lead you. You know that wherever it is that you end up, it was meant to be, that you are supposed to be there, and you know that everything happens for a reason. Now, with the Eight of Cups, I really love this card. It's one of my favorite cards in the deck because it talks about how even though the salmon has many twists and turns, if the salmon just jumps out right now, nothing is going to be clear. He won't know where he is. He won't know that he is at the actual mating spot until he gets there. And that's what the universe wants you to know, is that while you're through this journey, it's okay to wonder. It's okay to think about, oh, where am I going to be? But at the same time, know that the universe is guiding you in the right direction. You are on the right path. Let this be confirmation too if you're someone who is deciding, hey, I want to open up a smoothie stand. Go and open that smoothie stand. Have a good time. Make sure to pursue your dreams, pursue your goals, pursue your passions. Maybe for some of you, you're going to literally be having a food truck. Maybe even with this pandemic, you're going to be kind of improvising and adapting and learning how to overcome these situations, and maybe even preparing for the future. If something else happened like this, you're going to know instantaneously how to react, how to respond, and what to do. For some of you, you're going to literally be planting a garden. I feel like also this is going to literally be talking about traveling. Maybe some of you are going to be moving to a different country, a different state, a different city, maybe even being with a partner that is long distance. But the Eight of Cups can also be talking about the fact that when something is a little bit hard or a little bit stressful to you, you're going to take a step back. You're not going to be so enmeshed in it. You're not going to have it weigh you down. You're going to look at everything as a whole, look at everything objectively, and then continue forward. So going on to your next 3 cards, these are your Wise Fool Tarot cards, and these are talking about what your life will look like in 10 years' time. So we have the 8 of Pentacles, the number 14 Temperance, and the number 15A Devil card. Woohoo! So right off the bat, don't be scared by the Devil card. It is actually a really interesting card when paired up with these two, because it talks about the fact that you are someone who no longer wants to do all of the work while someone else reaps the rewards. And I feel like that's also in regards to relationships, in regards to career, in regards to community. You just no longer want to be taken advantage of. You no longer want to be walked all over. You no longer want to be stepped on. And I feel like you're really going to be standing up for yourself and saying, hey, I can make my own money. I can make my own way in life. I don't have to rely on people in that regard and allow them to take all of my just desserts. Now, with the number 14, with Temperance, it reminds me of the number 5, which is change, transformation, and growth. So it's going to be a little bit frustrating from time to time. The number 5 can also be talking about life bringing a little bit of disappointments, but sometimes the disappointments are what makes us a better person. It's kind of what makes us more mature It's kind of what makes us a little bit more well-rounded as well, and appreciate what we have. You're going to be a lot more thankful, a lot more grateful as well for what comes into your life, and you're going to realize too that not everything is perfect, and maybe that's going to bring you a lot of peace, a lot of comfort, and a lot of tranquility going forward, because as she pours all of this water into this tiny bottle, there are some droplets that are getting loose, and inevitably when she pulls the cup up, there might be a little bit of water that overflows out of this bottle if she's not careful. And that's what the universe wants you to know, is that even when you make a mistake, it's a chance to do better the next time. It's a chance to dust yourself off, to pick yourself back up, and to keep going, keep pushing forward. And I feel like that's something you're going to do very gracefully. With this Temperance card too, we notice how her legs are kind of melted together, and it's beautiful how entwined they are. It makes me think of the duality between divine feminine and divine masculine. It makes me feel like those of you who are in your divine feminine energies are going to be more in your divine masculine. You're going to be more headstrong. You're going to be more dedicated, determined, passionate, exciting, adventurous. For those of you who are in your divine masculine, you're going to be harnessing your more intuitive, feelingsy, heart-based, nurturing, caring, understanding, again, very spiritual side with your divine feminine as well. This could also be talking about a very beautiful relationship coming together because your angels have guided you guys together. Woohoo! Especially with Temperance, I feel like that's something that maybe you're really going to appreciate, is that it almost feels like the universe brought the two of you together. After seeing some of the relationships that the two of you have been in, where people have kind of blown their nose and like you're a tissue and just kind of thrown you off, used you up, and then just kind of, okay, bye, and maybe the universe has said, we're tired of this. We're giving you a good person this time, right? We're going to make sure that you're actually with someone who's going to appreciate you, who's going to not take you for granted. And that's something you're really going to appreciate. With the number 15, this would be the number 6. So it's talking about abundance. Not only abundance in love, but abundance in justice is what I just heard. I feel like for some of you, you're finally going to literally be getting that promotion. You're going to be getting a raise. Maybe you're also going to be an entrepreneur, self-starter here with the 8 of Pentacles. For a lot of you, you're going to have a lot of money. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. It's because of the fact that you have saved up. I feel like over the next 10 years, you're going to maybe even put away $5 a week into a secret savings. And that's something that's really going to add up, even over 5 years of time. But I feel like maybe that's something that you're really going to take priority in, is like, I have to take out a little bit of money every week, or even just every month. And then that way I'll have something to fall back on. That way I'll even have traveling money. I feel like for some of you, you're also going to be on the go a lot, but you're going to be, I don't want to say you're going to be like cheap or frugal in a bad way. It's in a very good way, right? Because you're going to be in this energy of, I don't have to buy completely brand new, or, I don't have to go out and spend all this money to be happy. I'm completely happy with what I have right now. For a lot of you, you're going to be maybe even stepping into a lot of new material items, which is something that's going to bring you a lot of comfort, a lot of happiness, but also you're going to be stepping into unconditional love. I know I keep bringing this up, but it's something that keeps kind of weighing on my mind as I see the number 8 and I see the sort of spider web in the background. I feel like you're also going to have unconditional love for yourself. But something else that your spirit guides really want you to kind of take notice of going forward when you meet this partner is to balance your work life and to balance the relationship life as well. For others of you, I feel like you're finally coming to terms with a really bad relationship that you might have had in the past with an ex. Maybe someone who maybe cheated on you, or someone who kind of brought in third parties. Doesn't have to be with another person. It could literally just be that they were too focused on their money. They were too focused on others' beliefs. It could even be maybe someone in their family didn't like that you were very spiritual and, maybe just was like, I don't really know if this would work out. I feel like you're going to heal over that. I feel like there's going to be healing almost overnight, and it's going to be very beautiful, the transformation that comes into your life from this. Now with the number 8 also, I really want to talk about the fact that it makes me think of someone who is determined, who is dedicated, who has a very good head on their shoulders as well. It makes me think of the magician, to be completely honest, a master manifester, someone who can bring anything into their lifetime that they really want. It's kind of like planting the seeds of intention and finally seeing them come to harvest, especially with the number 6 here. Oh my goodness, 5, 6 as well. Maybe you're someone who likes to take things one step at a time, and maybe that's also your kind of mentality going forward, is slow and steady wins the race. We don't have to just kind of jump right into this. Let's take our time with the relationship. Let's take our time in regards to career. You're really going to savor every moment in 10 years. And I know that sounds really cheesy, but I just feel like you're going to find a lot of comfort, a lot of peace, and a lot of happiness going forward. Now, on to your next few cards. These are your Crow Tarot cards, and these are talking about the journey over the next 10 years. I'm pretty sure you have the most cards out of the other 2 decks, out of all 3. So we have the 8 of Wands. I'm going to move these up a little bit. Make sure I don't get the shine in there. The 8 of Wands, the King of Swords, the Strength card. Look, an 8, an 8. The Knight of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the 2 of Pentacles with an 8. Whoa, okay. The Death card and the 2, 4, 6, 8 of Pentacles. Wow, 2 8 of Pentacles. What are the chances, right? So that's definitely talking about you're going to feel very, very happy in your career, very successful. You're going to love what you do too, which is something so nice to say. It's almost like this energy of, after maybe having jobs that didn't fit you or jobs that didn't make you feel fulfilled in your soul, you're going to finally have this nice cup of water on a hot day. And your career is just such a wonderful outlet as well for any frustrations you might have. I feel like you're someone who might like to do overtime. You just really like to put yourself out there and gain those next level achievements, or just those goals in general. Now, with the Knight of Wands, you're going to be very excited. You're going to be very passionate about what you do. You're also going to be very passionate about those around you. You're going to be pursuing your hobbies big time. So again, I feel like those of you that pick this pile or this stack, I feel like there's something that you do that is just absolutely incredible. I don't know if you draw, if you paint, if you maybe blow glass, if you, maybe you just make a really good salad. Whatever that is, I feel like you're going to find a way to incorporate it into your day-to-day life, and how to make a career out of it. Because right after that, we do have the Queen of Wands. So I feel like you're stepping into your power with going from the Knight of Wands into the Queen of Wands. This is talking about someone who is maturing, someone who is stepping into that leadership role, someone who is stepping into their inner power, someone who is also very feisty, vivacious, someone who is warm, enticing, someone who is inviting too. I feel like a lot of people are going to be incredibly drawn to you. People are going to want to give you recognition. People are going to want to be in your life in general. So don't feel like you're not going to have your pick, right? I feel like there's going to be a few potential suitors, a few potential offers here, and you're going to be able to stand firm and say to them, it's okay, I'm gonna go with Todrick over there. I like him a little bit more, right? Sorry, Herman. But with the 8 of Wands as well, you're going to have fast forward communication, fast forward movement as well. Remember how I was saying earlier, for some of you, you might be traveling long distance, you might be deciding to experience a brand new culture, maybe live in a brand new country. That is what the 8 of Wands is all about right here. It's all about moving forward, moving on, saying goodbye to the old and saying hello to the brand new, getting excited about it as well. No longer allowing fears hold you back. It's sort of that Shawn Mendes energy of, there's nothing holding me back. Now, with the King of Swords, I feel like you could be potentially meeting someone who has air in their chart, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, although they don't have to be. This could just be referring to your own energy, the fact that you are someone who is an amazing communicator. You are someone who has a lot of power in your words as well. Again, you're a natural born leader. You might even be an indigo child here. And I feel like you really can understand people on a deeper level, but allow yourself to say no when you feel a little bit uncomfortable, or if you feel like your needs aren't being met, allow yourself to put your foot down. I said feet, so maybe it's also saying like put both of your feet on the ground in regards to being present in the moment, allowing yourself to enjoy what's going on right now. And maybe that's one of your lessons throughout the next 10 years is, if you are someone who loves to daydream, or someone who is like, I'll be happy when I have this amount of money. I feel like yourself in 10 years is saying, allow yourself to be happy now, because you are going to have that. You're going to have these riches. You're going to have this happiness, this comfortability. You're going to have more than enough. For some of you, you're also going to be planting maybe your own food garden, and that's something that you can kind of take from every now and again. And that's something that's going to be able to tide you over as well. Maybe you're not going to have to spend as much money like on potatoes if you grow them, or onions. So going forward with the Strength card, I love that we have the infinity symbol showing up yet again, right? Especially with the Two of Pentacles here. So it's definitely talking about an unconditional love, something that's undying. Maybe you're also going to have a lot of past life influences here in regards to people who are showing up, who you have a karmic debt with. Again, karma doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can be a very good thing. Someone could just be coming into your life to praise you, to give you recognition, to thank you for being there for them. Someone who just kind of wants to hold you up. Maybe even a lot of people seeing you in a high regard, kind of putting you on a pedestal for all that you have achieved, for all that you have accomplished. That really isn't something that you should take lightly. I feel like there is going to be this complete, utter transformation for you going forward with this Death card. The Death card can seem a little bit scary, not gonna lie. When you look at it, you might think, oh my gosh, how sad this crow died. But for this crow, it's the next best adventure. The crow is leaving this body behind, but he is gaining this next level of wisdom, this next understanding of life, and why he was here, why he kind of had to go through the trials and tribulations that he did too. Now, I also want to say that notice how he leaves behind 3 feathers. It makes me feel like, you're someone who is leaving behind the things that kept you from being at peace with yourself, that kept you from living in harmony and feeling like you deserved more. Maybe there was also someone in your past who said very cruel words to you, and it was something that held you down for a long time. This could just be for a select few of you, but I feel like you're finally realizing, why is it that I put so much stock into them when I know that I'm an incredible person, when I know that I'm beautiful on the inside and out, when I know that I'm someone who's successful and who is cut out for a lot more than this. And maybe there's going to be this aha moment. That could even be what the Death card is kind of signifying here, is that you're going to have this coming of age, regardless of how old you are, where you decide, I'm worth so much more than what I'm being given here. And maybe that's even why we have the Devil card. Maybe for some of you, you're going to decide to leave a career that you've been at for a long time and pursue something brand new. Maybe you're someone who just is finishing up a new skill at a university as well. And you're deciding, hey, I'm going to move forward now. I'm going to move on to greener pastures. Now, with the Two of Pentacles, too, I do want to say that there is going to be this energy of balance. Remember how I said that maybe you're someone who struggles a little bit with balancing career, with your partnerships? Maybe that's also what the Two of Pentacles is talking about here, is finding balance within your community, finding balance within yourself, where you have that self-care time, you have that career time, you have that family time, but you also have the relationship time too. And I also want you to, over the next 10 years, use the mantra, I have all the time in the world. I feel like that's really going to make a big difference here, because maybe for some of you, there's this energy of, how am I going to get everything done that I need to get done over the next 10 years? And there's going to just be this day where maybe you drop all of the expectations, you drop everything that you had put on yourself, and you say, I'm going to get it done when it gets done. And maybe that's even why at the beginning of the reading I said, it's almost this energy that you're waiting for this bigger, better deal, or you're still working. Like it's not enough yet. You're still waiting on your abundances and your success, because you deserve so much more. And that's the energy here. Now with Strength too, you're really going to allow yourself to be strong, not only literally strong, what we typically think of, but also very vulnerably strong at the same time. You're someone who is really going to allow yourself to show your emotions to the people that you love. And that's what's also going to draw this person in, is because they're going to love how vulnerable you can be while still being so independent and still being someone who can fulfill themselves. Now going forward onto your next few cards, these are your Botticelli Tarot cards, and these are talking about what your spirit guides want you to know over the next 10 years. So we have the Seven of Wands, the High Priestess, the Star card, beautiful, the Four of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, and the Chariot card. Now, what I love right now is that we have a Queen of Swords and we have a King of Swords. So there is our divine partnership. This is also talking talking about someone who has matured, who has leveled up, someone who has mastered the divine masculine and the divine feminine side of themselves. So kudos to you, right? I want to give you a round of applause. This is incredible. In 10 years time, you're going to have more than enough money. Remember how I was saying you might be saving your money, you might be counting your pennies. That's what the Four of Pentacles is about. Someone who is holding on to things, but just make sure that you're not holding on to anything that might hold you back from your dreams, from your ambitions, from your talents too. Don't be so hard on yourself. With the High Priestess, you are incredibly intuitive. You know what is correct for yourself. You know what is right. So if someone is coming forward to you and saying, oh, but you really would be a better knee surgeon, like, you know, if you want to be a knee surgeon, you know, if you want to look at that every day, and maybe for some of you, you want to literally be a teacher. Maybe you're going to go towards a teaching degree. You're going to decide to maybe even become a beautician for some of you. But your spirit guides are saying whatever it is that you're drawn towards, go dabble in it, go express yourself. Because once you're expressing your creativity and getting those juices flowing, that's what's going to bring the manifestations in. And don't lose hope here, right? Especially with the stars. You have a community of people that really love you, that really support you. Even if sometimes it feels a little bit lonely or you feel like it's just you, if you could turn around and look and see all the people whose lives that you have touched, who you have influenced, who you have maybe even inspired, you would be amazed. Even just a smile on the subway, a quick compliment, that is enough to warm someone's heart for many, many years. And, I really feel like you need to give yourself a little bit more credit where credit is due, that you are someone who is incredibly gifted, that you are someone who's incredibly talented, and you're going to make it very far. And that's what your spirit guides want you to know over the next 10 years. They want you to pursue your dreams very fast forward. Again, the Chariot's also talking about finding that balance, finding that equilibrium between divine feminine and divine masculine. Maybe if you're someone who maybe likes to look at a situation and get kind of enmeshed in it with feelings, I definitely can understand. I'm guilty of that from time to time. I feel like Spirit is saying, allow yourself to get into that sort of divine masculine energy where you can pick yourself up, you can lift yourself out of that situation, fly to a higher vantage point, and look down at the situation and decide how it is that you want to proceed. But the Chariot is also potentially talking about someone who has Cancer placements. It could be you, but it's also talking about allowing yourself to be more sensitive, allowing yourself to be more open with yourself. You don't have to literally go outside and find your friend Jerry and cry on his shoulder, like just immediately start crying, hey Jerry, I have to tell you my feelings. But with the Chariot, it's definitely talking about allowing yourself to feel at peace. If you lay in bed at night, allow yourself to put some music on and feel those emotions, honor those emotions, honor your feelings. They're very valid and they're there for a reason. And I feel like there's maybe even a little bit of healing that has to be done here as well. Now, with the Seven of Wands, I love this card because it's talking about someone who, is going out on the hunt. They're going to provide for their centaur pack. But at the same time, the Seven of Wands in traditional tarot can be talking about opposition. It can be talking about, maybe even people who are trying to throw you off, or potentially even how you're someone who is going to stand up for yourself. You're going to fight that off. You're going to no longer have people criticize you, and you're no longer going to be like, oh, okay, well, that's true. Jerry said that I'm a jerk, so I must be a jerk for the rest of my lifetime, right? There's going to be this energy of, no, I'm incredible. I'm the Queen of Wands. What's going on here? I don't know why Jerry doesn't like me. I'm amazing. But there's also this energy with the Seven of Wands where you're owning up to these things, where you're someone who knows that you haven't always been the best. I think that we all can kind of live up to that. Since we're all human, I feel like we've all had our moments where we haven't been exemplary, and that's okay, because it's all about learning how to be better the next time around. And maybe that's something that you're really going to be taking part in over the next 10 years, I guess would be the best way to put it. But your guides really just don't want you to be so hard on yourself. They want you to know that any kind of mistakes or any kind of mishaps that have happened in the past that you deem as mistakes, or that you deem as maybe even a waste of time, it wasn't at all. It was in order for you to appreciate yourself more, to appreciate all the gifts and talents that you have. Maybe even someone in your life came into your life, really when you were feeling very good about yourself, or maybe they will over the next 10 years, and your spirit guides want you to remember that you are a divine gift. And just because this person doesn't see you as a divine gift doesn't mean that you aren't. right? It's almost like if you go out and, you order some raspberry tea. Not everyone is going to like raspberry tea. I think raspberry tea is so good. But there's other people who like blueberry tea. They like peach tea. They just like regular tea. So you just have to find someone who is your cup of tea and you are their cup of tea as well. Now, with the Queen of Swords, stand up for yourself though, especially if people try to come at you, if people try to give you a hard time, or they try to bully you over the next 10 years. Feel free to stand up for yourself. Feel free to tell someone, look, if you're going to be rude to me, you don't have to be in my life. You don't have to criticize me. You don't have to take me for granted. There's the door. Bye. I also feel like you're going to be trusting your intuition more. So you're also going to be knowing when someone is not necessarily telling the truth. And maybe that's also something that your spirit guides want you to focus on going forward. Trust your intuition. Trust those red flags. Trust those signs, because they're there for a reason. Now, going on to your closing messages before we go on to your tea leaf tarot cards, these are going to be closing messages in regards to your next 10 years. So we have the 8 of Pentacles, the Tower card, the Prince of Swords, the 6 of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, the King of Pentacles, the 10 of Hearts, and the Prince of Pentacles. So I like to use these as oracle cards, which is why I grabbed so many. I love that we have the 8 of Pentacles. Again, honestly, you can't make that up. We have 3 8 of Pentacles here. So you're definitely going to be working very, very hard. And maybe you're going to be a little bit exhausted too by the time this person comes in. Maybe that's also something that you're going to have to learn in regards to the next 10 years, is how to not overwork yourself, how to not run yourself ragged. Because again, you are someone who puts 110% into all of your passions, into the things that you're excited about, and you're going to want to just jump right in. But your spirit guides are saying make sure to pace yourself. It's almost like when you run a mile. As a child, I had this coach who would always be like, you gotta jog. You gotta make sure you jog on the way in or you're gonna be tired. And all the kids would run and I'd run and then I'd get exhausted and then I'd walk the rest of the track and I'd never make it to a mile. It was so sad. I'm not cut out for the track life. But I feel like maybe that is your energy, where it's just sort of like, don't tire yourself out putting your all in at once. Allow yourself to pace yourself. Allow yourself to take things one step at a time. But if you also have to slow down to the point where you're walking, that's okay. Just keep going, keep progressing. Hey, I would walk that track every day, and my coach was so nice about it towards the end of it, because he was like, oh my gosh, this girl can't run for anything. She's not athletic. And he was so sweet to me, and he was like, okay, well, we'll watch and we'll see where it is that you'll make it to, and then the next day when you come, you can start from that point and then continue walking. When I finally got my first little award for making the mile, I was so excited until I found out that I had to make a few more of them. But regardless, I feel like that's also the energy that we have here too. Where it's like slow and steady wins the race. Allow yourself to take things one step at a time, because you are going to get there, especially with the King of Pentacles. I love that we have so many kings, so many queens, so many court cards in general, because it is talking about change. It's talking about metamorphosis here and growth towards a happily ever after. Honestly, with the 10 of Hearts, this is my happily ever after card. This is being sentimentally happy. This is having enough. Sure, you don't have like riches. You don't have Lady Gaga money, but you have enough love to go around. You are rich in love. You are rich in happiness. You're rich in maybe even connections too. Maybe you're going to be meeting a lot more friends. Maybe also this new partner is going to come in and introduce you to their circles and their friend groups, and you're going to feel at home with them. Maybe for some of you, you're also going to be tying the knot. Some of you are just going to be getting engaged and have a very long engagement before you finally do settle down. For others, you're going to be moving in pretty fast, because we do have the Prince of Pentacles here. But I feel like with the Prince of Pentacles, with the apple tree in the background, this is something that takes time. Remember how I said earlier about 5 years? Maybe 5 is going to be very specific to those of you that pick this pile. Maybe in 5 years' time, that's when you're going to buy your first house. That's when you're going to become a manager of your first location. That's when you're going to open up your first shop. That's when you're going to, maybe even become a pottery person. Regardless, I feel like you are someone who is definitely going to have this growth. It takes a long time for apples to be able to grow on the tree. So with the right love and with the right dedication, I feel like you're going to get there. Now, let's go on to your tea leaf tarot cards. These are talking about what might happen in regards to the journey on the way. So we have Hand, in need of help, assistance, and guidance. So remember how I was saying earlier that there's a lot of people around you that want to help you, that want to lift you up, that want to give you recognition. Allow yourself to take the help, allow yourself to take the guidance too, not unsuccessful plans. So it could be that maybe for some of you, you are with someone potentially right now, or maybe you're going to be, and something happens in regards to the tower. There's this shakeup, there's this idea of, wait, I deserve a lot more. I'm someone who puts a lot of work into this relationship. I'm someone who puts a lot of work into everything that I'm associated with. I'm not just going to settle for this. I deserve someone who's a lot better. And that's what's going to prompt the universe to bring this incredible soulmate relationship into your life. So maybe that could feel a little bit like an unsuccessful plan. There's definitely this energy of feeling like maybe a point in time was a little bit a waste of time, but it truly isn't. I feel like you've gained a lot of more intuition as well. Maybe how to read people really good. Maybe you're someone who is really going to learn how to read body language very good. We do have Finger, warning you of a problem either now or in the near future. There you go. So maybe it could even be that your friends are reaching out and they're saying to you, like, this person isn't necessarily the best for you. This person isn't healthy. It could even be a career that you're at where you're doing all of the work and you're making ends meet. They're barely paying you. But meanwhile, Sandra over there, she makes like 3 times your pay. And you're like, what's going on over there with Sandra? Why is she being paid more? And I'm over here, I'm doing all of this work. I'm putting so much energy into this and I'm not getting squat diddly. What is that? Right? So I feel like there's this energy of people coming to you and saying you deserve more, and you're finally going to listen to it, and maybe you're going to decide to just completely step away from this. You know, it makes me think of, with this knotted rope, deciding, are you going to take the time to unravel it, or is it so tight of a knot that you just have to continue going, that you have to either cut that out or you have to get a brand new rope? You know, so going forward, we also have Rose. Romance is in the air. Woohoo! So again, you're definitely going to be meeting someone who is absolutely incredible for you, and it could even be after these unsuccessful plans. Maybe for some of you, you're going to be meeting this person at your job or at your career, and maybe after you leave, they're going to write to you and be like, hey, I always really enjoyed you. I really liked your company. I miss you. How are you doing? But I definitely feel like there's going to be someone that's coming in that's going to be very different from this person, or very different from this situation. Now going forward, we have Parrot. Someone will gossip about all of your secrets. So it could be that that's what this kind of knot is. Maybe that's even why we have the Finger over here. Maybe a parent, maybe a role model is going to literally say to you, don't tell this person everything. You know, this could also be the universe saying, if you have an idea for a book, or if you have an idea in general, don't go around and feel like you have to tell everyone about it. Keep those to yourself until you actually do it. Sometimes people will want to throw a wrench in the works or tell you that your idea is no good, just so that they will keep you at that level, you know, or hold you back. And Spirit really wants you to progress. They want you to, you know, not feel the need to tell everyone all of your secrets or what you're up to. We also have Butterfly. There we go, a change for the better. Beautiful. So it's a very, very good change. Even though it can feel a little bit uncomfortable, like that Death card, it can feel a little bit scary. It's something that is going to leave you better off in the long run. We also have Angels, spiritual guidance, protection from harm. So there's nothing to worry about here, especially in regards to this person. The Divine is protecting you, and they're watching what this person is doing. Maybe that's even why I was talking about there's some form of a past life relationship where there's karma. Maybe this person is coming into your life to fulfill that, and you're finally closing the cycle. You're clearing out this chapter in your life, and you're deciding to start over fresh with someone new. We also have Bread, period of prosperity and abundance. There we go. No need to worry about your finances. Your career is incredible over the next 10 years. Star, guaranteed success. And I know I said that at the beginning of the reading, but again, I feel like you're definitely that energy of, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, there you go. We also have Horse, short journey. Well, that's why I feel like maybe it's 5 years. Maybe it's like half the time that you're going to spend in this reading. That's when you're going to achieve these goals. We also have dog barking, advice from a friend. Oh, wow. So we have a few cards that are talking about someone wanting to reach out to you, someone wanting to help, someone wanting to give you guidance and advice. Make sure to listen to them, right? At least hear them out for what they have to say. We also have temporary situation. There we go. I feel like that also ties into that. If you're someone who is experiencing a little bit of lack in finances or funds, or maybe even having a little bit of a fallout with a certain family member, I feel like things are really going to come full circle. They're going to come to a close, so to speak, and things are going to be good again. I feel like there's this energy of peace coming back in. We also have Arrow. You are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. Don't worry, right? You are definitely on the right track. We also have Broken Bridge, unsuccessful outcome to a problem. So, maybe you're even going to try and stick around. For some of you, this is a select few. Maybe you're going to decide, I'm going to give it a try with this person. I'm going to try to fix this. But again, I feel like it's nothing on your end. I feel like it has to do more with them. There was nothing that you could have done more to keep this person around, to keep this person loyal, to keep this person honest, to keep this person truthful. That is a reflection of them. And now you're going to move forward onto someone who is a lot better. For others of you, in regards to your career, maybe you're deciding, hey, I want to stick around a little bit longer, but it gets to this boiling point. It gets to this moment in time where you're just sort of like, I can't take this anymore. I feel so bound to my career. I feel bound to my boss. I feel like, I'm someone who is constantly tied down to them. Maybe this is taking away from your personal life as well, and you're wanting more time to yourself. You're wanting weekends off. Maybe for some of you, you're going to have a career as well where they're not giving you any days off, where you maybe have just one day off, and then you also have to take care of the house. So it's just very stressful. For some of you, I feel like you might suffer from anxiety. I feel like my chest is getting a little bit tight. So maybe for some of you, there might even be this energy of having to pace yourself so that you don't get overwhelmed, right? Because I feel like those of you that picked this pile, I feel like you are incredibly sweet. You're very sensitive, but you might be, someone who gets a little bit overwhelmed in regards to these situations because you are so caring. You are someone who likes to make sure that everyone is happy and content with where they are in life. And while that's very admirable, make sure to also reflect that to yourself. Make sure to also take care of yourself. We also have wall misunderstanding. So again, I feel like for some of you, there is a misunderstanding here with a family member or with a friend, and that's going to come to pass. Maybe that's even why we have this. Maybe someone is going to be a little bit angry, with this misunderstanding. Maybe they're going to misunderstand you and try to spread gossip. But at the end of the day, everyone knows your true character and how sweet of a person you are. So there's nothing to worry about. There we go. Victory in some endeavor. I feel like this person isn't going to be believed in that. This might even be a coworker that tries to get you fired for some of you. But regardless, I feel like you're going to overcome this and you're going to actually be better off. Maybe for some of you as well, with victory in some endeavor, you're going to just kind of put on your wares on Etsy, decide, hey, that kind of sounded like put on your underwears on Etsy. I mean, you could do that if you make crafted underwear, special underwear. But sell your craft, sell your wares, sell the things that you make that you're really good at. And if you're someone who, maybe you are a rock hound, maybe you're someone who makes tarot decks, maybe you're someone who makes comic books or web comics, put yourself out there and allow yourself to be appreciated and enjoyed. There we go. Something important, such as a new job or a raise. So I definitely feel like for some of you, you're definitely getting a raise, a promotion, becoming a manager, opening a new location, or just starting a brand new job in general where you can express yourself, where you don't have to constantly, watch what you say to people as well. Maybe you have a very judgmental boss. Maybe for some of you, there's just someone in your life as well who's very demeaning, who always has to be right. So I feel like as soon as you switch your emotions towards getting excited about your career and getting excited about your finances, that's when everything is going to change as well. And how you can achieve them in regards to your creativity. Now, we also have Turkey. Someone is behaving stupidly. There we go. So don't worry about this. I feel like there's maybe even just one person who's watching this who's really going through a time or will be going through a time 10 years from now, or over the next 10 years. And they're going to reflect on this, and I want you to remember these words. This person is behaving stupidly. This person is not reflecting what you're giving them. They're reflecting their own inner childhood wounds. They're reflecting their own wounds in general. I feel like maybe for some of you, there might be a relationship where someone promises you the moon and the stars, and this person is not ready to commit. You know, this person is maybe even a little bit scared by commitment, and that's why they're behaving stupidly. But regardless, take this in stride, right? Because everything's going to happen the way that it's supposed to. Lightning, control your anger or you will be sorry. So when there's this misunderstanding, when there's this person, you know, maybe this is even you, you know, for some of you, if you have a little bit of a temper, you know, make sure to watch that, because maybe this person is going to try you just so that they can get a rise out of you, just so that they can say, oh, did you see how mad Deborah got? You know, like some people will just want to do that. So don't give them the reaction, you know, don't let these people bully you. Now, with Unicorn, I also want to say with Lightning, you know, allow yourself to just walk away. You know, it kind of reminds me of the god Thor as well. So it makes me think like the universe is going to take care of it. The universe is going to handle it. You don't have to worry about it. The gods and the universe have already seen. They're already going to, you know, speak up for you in the future. Just kind of go about your own day. Have fun. And, you know, trust your intuition. We also have Unicorn. Use your intuition to make beneficial changes. There we go. If you see red flags, if you feel like something isn't quite right with someone, you know, make sure to always trust that. Don't second guess yourself. Taurus, slowly but surely getting ahead. There we go. So that kind of brings us back to that kind of quote where I was saying earlier, you know, make sure to jog before you run. You know, don't just run the whole time through. Don't exhaust yourself. Pace yourself. Slow and steady wins the race. We also have Dark Woman, dealings or relationship with a woman with dark complexion or hair. So it could be, maybe this is a best friend of yours, maybe this is your sister, your mother, your aunt, you know, maybe this is also maybe someone that you're going to meet coworker wise. This could be someone that you're going to have the misunderstanding with or the miscommunication. It could even just be that the two of you are having a really deep talk and maybe the right words just aren't said here. But I also want you to know that there is no such thing as the right words, right? You know, maybe this is important for that person to be able to objectively look at themselves and say, why was I so upset by what this person said? Why was I offended? You know, why did I misunderstand them? Why was I so quick to judge them? Because maybe you've been judged unfairly here by this person. Regardless, oh, our last card is love. How sweet. So I love that not only you got romance with the rose, but you also have love. How beautiful is that? So you're definitely going to be introduced to a really wonderful, wonderful relationship, and this one is going to withstand the test of time. You know, maybe this past one, for some of you that are dealing with a partner who maybe has a third party situation with a woman who maybe has dark complexion or dark hair, you know, this is going to be a sign that you're going to find a brand new love who is going to be a lot better for you, who's going to be better suited, who is going to bring you a lot of happiness, and who is going to be able to share the success with you. I feel like you guys are going to be able to go on adventures together, to be able to do anything, to speak your mind, to be free with one another, to, you know, maybe even this energy of we don't have to have a lot, we don't have to have a mansion, but as long as we're together, we're happy. You know, and maybe in the past, this person that you were with, for those of you who might be experiencing a toxic relationship or who are going to be, maybe that was never how they were. Maybe they had expectations or conditions of, you know, what their life had to be. We have to live here. We have to do this. We have to, you know, keep up with the rest of the neighborhood. And I feel like those of you that pick this pile, you just want to be, you just want to live. You want to have a good life with the people that you love. And you're going to be meeting someone who has the same values, who has the same morals, and the same understandings of what makes life beautiful. So I hope that you enjoyed this stack too. Thank you so much for watching this. If you enjoyed this and you resonated with it, go ahead and leave a like down below, and also leave a comment. I look forward to you guys' comments so much. I read every single one. I'm so grateful for you guys, and I love you guys. I hope that you're doing incredible and staying in good health. Honestly, those of you that pick this pile, you're going to be in for so much love, so much success, and so much happiness. So make sure to claim this, you know, put it out to the universe. Like, this this is my next 10 years. This is where I'm going to be. I'm going to learn from all of these hardships. I'm going to grow. I'm going to transform. I'm going to be literally my own boss. I'm going to step into this power move, this power position. But I hope that you enjoyed this. Definitely hit subscribe if you have not already, and hit that little bell icon to be notified every time that I upload a reading. Also, I have all of my links in the description box down below if you want to buy any of the crafts that I make, or a reading. I also do like video readings, and I have my Etsy on there. But regardless, I hope that you're doing amazing. Definitely check all my description stuff out as well, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye! Hello to everyone who picked stack 3. Let's get right into your reading and see what will your life look like in 10 years. So right off the bat, I love that you chose the heart locket. This actually I got as a toddler from my mother. I thought it was so pretty, but the batteries had died. It has always perpetually been at 2:10 o'clock. So maybe for some of you that's going to be significant. Maybe you're literally going to give birth to a child at that time. But regardless, I feel like with this locket, something is going to be a catalyst that brings in potentially a life partner. Maybe you're also going to adopt some new animals. Maybe you're going to get involved with your community. There's just going to be some sort of a catalyst that catapults you forward and puts you into new abundances and new opportunities. Now, with the elephant crystal, elephants are very social animals. They love their communities. They love their families. So over the next 10 years, I feel like you're going to be able to maybe reconnect with family members that you don't talk to. Maybe there's even going to be a chance to go to reunions in the far future. Also with elephant, I feel like this is also talking about wisdom after a very hard time. Sometimes elephants can be very abused as well if we think about the hundreds of years that they've been used within the circus. So in that regard, I feel like you're someone who maybe in the past people have taken for granted, maybe people have overlooked, maybe people haven't perceived as someone who's going to be successful, and you're showing them that they're wrong. You're showing them that you're the one who can stand on your own 2 feet. You're showing them that you're the one who can go out there and achieve your goals. And honestly, I get this feeling that in 10 years, you're going to look back to now and you're going to get choked up, because that's the feeling that I'm getting as I'm trying to get these messages across. It's almost like my messages keep getting stuck in my throat because I'm feeling choked up. I'm feeling like some of you are going to be incredibly proud of all that you've achieved and all that you've gained, especially lessons wise. I feel like you're going to be able to see people's true colors for what they are without having to repaint them, without having to convince yourself otherwise. There's kind of an acceptance here, which is really nice, that you're going to trust yourself the first time. You're going to trust your instinct. But I definitely feel like maybe there's one last piece of the puzzle before you settle down with someone, especially since on the back of the locket, we have where the key can go in. So maybe you just have to find someone who has that missing key. Carnelian is also really wonderful in regards to self-empowerment, self-confidence, feeling very good about yourself, shining in your own light. So I feel like that's very important for those of you that picked stack 3. Now let's go ahead into your cards. So right off the bat, let's start with your Animal Druid Oracle card. And this is talking about who you will be in 10 years time. We have the Hare. Woohoo! So this is a really awesome card because it's talking about someone who is lucky, who is abundant, who is stable in their home life as well. Also someone who has a very, very happy family, happy home life. Hares, when we think about rabbits as well, we think about them breeding like rabbits. So maybe if you are able to get pregnant, maybe that is something that is on the horizon. Maybe you're going to adopt. Maybe you're going to decide to get some more fur babies or feather babies or scale babies. Regardless, there's definitely this energy of expanding your family and expanding your horizons. For some of you, you're just marrying into a family that has a lot of family members. So it's almost going to be, I don't want to say a culture shock, but it's going to be kind of out of nowhere that you're thrust into this environment of a big family and a big surroundings. Maybe even your family was very large. So when you two's family kind of get together, it's going to be this grand outing, right? And maybe at first it's a little bit intimidating, but you really start to get comfortable with it. You really start to enjoy it as well. I feel like you're someone who's very compassionate, very loving and caring, someone who's incredibly generous as well to the people that you love. So in that regard, I think that you're really going to be shown that tenfold for what you've given to people. I feel like a lot of people are going to be giving you recognition, and also for the fact that you're very lucky in general. Maybe you're going to have a big break at work. Maybe you're just going to have this big windfall of money kind of coming in. For some of you, I'm feeling like you're authors. Maybe you are deciding to do a webcomic. Maybe you're deciding to branch out and try to be an animator somewhere. I feel like there's a lot of creatives in this stack. But also with hair, I feel like this is also having the opportunity or the potential to travel in the future. You know, whether that be somewhere entirely across the world or just to the next city. I just feel like there is this potential to have a career where you're constantly traveling, you're constantly on the road. For some of you, maybe you're even going to decide to, you know, kind of have a traveling house, you know, kind of like an RV, and then just be in there with your family and travel around and experience the world before you finally settle down. That'll only be for a select few of you. But I feel like there's definitely this freedom to you. You feel like you can go anywhere, you can do anything, and there's nothing that's going to stop you. There's nothing that's going to hold you back. And what a beautiful energy to be in as well. Now, maybe you're also going to like win the lottery for some of you. When I do think of like a lucky rabbit's foot. Now, I also think about someone who, you know, maybe you're going to be given a lot of gifts in the future by someone. You know, it could even be that you are marrying into a family that has a lot of wealth already. It could even be that you have made your own wealth and you are bringing that person's family in as well and being like, okay, let's all kind of combine together and then live a very good life. There's just enough to go around, right? Now, also, another really wonderful thing about hair is I feel like you're very spiritually inclined. You're very, your intuition is very accurate, so to speak. So never doubt that. Don't ever let yourself not trust your gut feeling, because that is something that will never lead you astray, especially in regards to career and finances. I feel like you're someone who always picks up on the right thing to do immediately, so always go with that first instinct. Now, also with the moon in the background, I love that it's there because it is again highlighting the fact that you're very spiritually aware, you're very awakened, you're someone who is enlightened as well. I feel like with hair, you're very much this energy of divine masculine and divine feminine coming together in such a beautiful way that you're able to make really good decisions. You have a very sound head on your shoulders. You know, you're just amazing at what you do. For some of you, I feel like you're a little bit too hard on yourself from time to time, but I feel like in 10 years, you're going to look back and think to yourself, oh my goodness, you know, I was really making leaps and bounds already, but look at where I am now. So going forward, onto your next card, this is going to be your Secrets of the Mystic Grove card, and this is talking about the overall energy of where you will be in 10 years. So we have number 25, release, letting go, freedom, and healing. Beautiful. So there's definitely been a lot of healing had over the last 10 years, you know, the span from now until then. You know, I feel like also with freedom, you're really allowing yourself, again, to just go off and do things that you enjoy. Maybe that's even how you're going to meet your partner, is that maybe you're traveling. Maybe that's even the last key that will unlock this, is that you have to travel somewhere. You have to move to a new city, a new state, a new country. And that's how you're going to meet this person and have this beautiful fairy tale life, right? But with letting go, maybe you also have to let go of things that you tried to force in the past, let go of relationships that didn't work, let go of people who didn't necessarily suit you either. You know, maybe you were trying to find family or community in people that didn't ever serve you, or people that weren't on your wavelength or on your vibration. And for a while, you know, maybe you felt like you had to try and force this on someone. For some of you, you might be in a relationship where you've kind of held on very tightly to this person, even though they want to kind of move forward, or they're getting cold, or they've been a little bit distant. I feel like in the future, when you start to pick up on that, you're not even going to hold on to that person. You're just going to say, okay, go ahead and do what you need to do. And then if you really like me, come back to me at the end of the day, right? And that's something that's also a very beautiful kind of energy shift, I think, from where you are now to where you'll be then, because there's not this expectation of you need to be with me forever and a day. It's, you know, more of, be with me willingly if you want to. I'm not going to force you. Maybe even letting go of a career that isn't serving you, that you aren't being taken seriously, that you aren't being given the amount of money that you deserve for the time that you put in, right? Maybe even letting go of friendships, or just allowing people to have their space. Not to say that you are someone who was overbearing. I don't think that at all, but I definitely feel like there was this energy of, you know, maybe wanting to know where a situation was heading, wanting to maybe even control a situation, situation. And I feel like 10 years from now, you're knowing that releasing doesn't mean giving up or letting go entirely and never seeing that person again. It just means to drop your expectations of the situations, to drop this idea of, well, this has to happen and this has to happen and that has to happen, or they have to say this and this and that. I feel like in 10 years time as well, you're also going to be at peace. I feel like you're going to be well rested. You're going to just feel very good. For some of you that are dealing with health problems, I feel like in 10 years time, you're not going to, obviously be cured overnight, but I feel like you're going to feel a lot better than you do now. I feel like you're going to find some, maybe even homeopathic remedies that just take a little bit of the edge off. You're feeling a little bit better. You're feeling less antsy. Maybe even with this partnership too, that this is someone who, even though they are very free, even though they go off and maybe they have to go off for maybe even a few weeks at a time, maybe they travel for career, that they'll always come back to you at the end of the day. They'll come back to your family. They'll come back to your home. Maybe that's something that you really value about your future partnership in 10 years as well, is because the two of you can, go about your hustle and bustle, but still at the end of the day, you reunite. And there isn't this expectation of, well, you should have been here an hour ago, or you should have done this, or you should have done that. I feel like it's going to be a very easygoing, very fun-loving relationship. And the same goes with career. I feel like you're someone who is going to attract a career that is going to be a lot more suited for you, that is going to be a lot more fun, that is going to be a lot more creative as well. I feel like a lot of people that pick this pile, maybe you're also going to get a managerial position. For some of you, you might be working at, like, maybe there's going to be a brand new factory or somewhere that's going to open up, and that's somewhere that you're going to be able to make a very, very nice living. But I definitely feel like for some of you, you're deciding that if people want to be in my life, that's great. Let them make the effort, but I'm not going to force them to stay. And I feel like that's because you went through your own kind of healing throughout the years. Now, going forward onto your next 3 cards, you guys actually got the most cards for the animal totem cards. The other 2 decks had just 1 card each representing them. But for you guys, we had the 9 of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and the 8 of Pentacles. And I reshuffled these a few times, trying to get just 1 card, and each time, even as they separated them, these 3 would come out. So I'm pretty excited to cover these. Right off the bat, the 9 of Swords looks a little bit scary, but don't be alarmed by this. I feel like this is you kind of reflecting on times that you've had that. Notice how the bird isn't actually in the room losing sleep. He's watching the person in the bed, kind of tossing and turning, maybe thinking, maybe looking at their phone, lying awake at night, worrying, wondering what's going to happen next, maybe living in fear. And the nightingale, or the frogmouth on the outside, the frogmouth rather, is sitting there, and he shines his brightest at night. That's when he goes out and he hunts for his food, he gets his fill, and then he goes back and sleeps for during the day. So this is when he feels alive. I feel like when you are feeling your best, you're going to reflect back on when you were having a hard time, maybe when you couldn't speak up for yourself, when you couldn't be true to who you were, when you couldn't live into your full authenticity or step into your self-confidence. Maybe for some of you, you really lacked confidence in the past, or maybe even now, and that's something that your future self wants to say that you're really going to grow into. You're going to become vivacious, you're going to become incredible, and you're an amazingly hard worker with the 8 of Pentacles and Ace of Swords. With the Ace of Swords, I also want to say that you are someone who's incredibly determined. In the future, in 10 years, I feel like you're someone who isn't exhausted by any means, right? And they really want to stress that, which is a really funny thing, because maybe some of you feel overworked right now, you feel tired, you feel stressed, you feel nervous, but they're really saying that, I feel alive, I feel really good, I feel like I'm really going towards my goals, I'm making progress, I'm taking things 1 step at a time, I'm not fatiguing myself or stressing myself out about the little things. And maybe in the past, some of you guys were overthinkers, maybe you guys would overanalyze or focus on the little things. And your future self is very much saying, look at the larger picture, look at everything, find the silver lining here, because you are someone who is an incredible conversationalist. You are someone who is amazing in regards to inspiring other people as well. And your future self wants you to focus on that because that's the energy that they're in. This is someone who also can stick up for themselves, but notice how the panda isn't anywhere near the sword. It's there. It's almost like a warning, like, make sure to respect me, make sure to honor me, you know, and treat me right, because if you don't, then the sword is right here. But otherwise, you're someone who is just very at peace, you're calm. And the reason why you don't have to have the sword near you is because you've cut out all the toxic influences. You've released anything that no longer serves you. You've released anything that kept you from your abundance, that kept you from your good luck, from your good fortune, from your success, right? And now the only thing that you can see is blue skies. I keep hearing that one song, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Oh my gosh, there we go. So it's like everything is kind of coming together. I'm so excited about this. But there's all the obstacles and you see them. You know, it's not like the universe can just kind of throw a wrench in the works anymore. You're excited to achieve these goals. You're excited to get to that next level. Oh my gosh, yeah, I feel like a lot of you are just going to be extremely happy. Even if something bad happened, I feel like you just have a really amazing perspective going forward on life. The interesting thing here, though, is that we don't see how much of the mountain this mountain goat has actually climbed leading up to this point. And that's what your future self really wants to stress, is that you already have achieved so much, and this future version of yourself is going to achieve so much more, and so on and so forth. So don't get down on yourself, especially if there's days where you have to pace yourself, if you're feeling a little bit low, a little bit anxious. You know, take a step back and realize that it's all for the larger picture. It's all for the greater good. You know, that you are someone who's going to achieve a lot. You are someone who's going to be very accomplished, and I feel like a lot of people are really going to respect you. Also, in the future, for those of you who, you know, potentially even have a relationship, or those of you who are going to settle down, have that community, I feel like you are going to have a really, really open communication in that relationship. Also, for those of you who are pursuing a brand new career, you're going to be able to stand up for yourself. You're going to be able to tell people right off the bat what it is that you're looking for in a job, what it is that you bring to the table, and what it is that you offer, what it is that you're looking for long term. And people are really going to appreciate that about you. Just the fact that you are so forthcoming, honest, and straightforward. So going on to your next 4 cards, these are your Wise Fool Tarot cards, and these are talking about what your life will look like in the next 10 years. We have number 13, Death, number 21, Earth, the 7 of Clubs, which would be the 7 of Wands, and the Page of Hearts, which I also see as the Princess of Hearts too. So going forward, I love that the Princess of Hearts is here. This is one of my favorite decks because I absolutely love her. She reminds me of just everything that embodies childhood innocence, rose-colored glasses, happiness, feeling content in life, feeling happy with where you are, being present in the moment, not having to seek outside of yourself for validation, for happiness, for comfort. You know, this is someone who's very happy with their life, even though there's all of these hardships, even though there's all of this kind of drama in the world. It's still this energy of, I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm at the beach. I'm having a good time. You know, I'm with my best friend here. And it doesn't even have to be that, you know, you're with an actual person. You're just enjoying being alive. Now, with the 7 of Wands, with the Page of Hearts, it very much makes me feel like there's going to be a little bit of struggle in your life. Not to say that everyone's life is perfect, right? There's always going to be struggle. There's always going to be ups and downs, but that's what makes life enjoyable. If we think about a roller coaster at an amusement park, right? We don't want to forever be on the same roller coaster that just constantly goes around in a circle. We want to go on them that have the twists and turns, the loops, the dives as well. We want to be able to experience brand new things. We want to be able to get that adrenaline rush. So even though there are all of these kind of mishaps and maybe even some hardship, it's something that is going to allow you to appreciate when the good times are coming a lot much better. It's also going to help you appreciate what you have. I feel like with number 21A Earth, maybe for some of you, you're going to be an area where there's literally a tornado. Maybe there's a natural disaster. But I feel like with that, maybe you're you're going to have time to prepare, and maybe it's something that if you have any sort of property destroyed, that you're going to be able to rebuild that. Notice how with the Seven of Wands, he's working diligently to be able to recreate the apple. And if we look at his paper, even though he looks so stressed, it is almost perfect to that apple. He just basically has to color it in and line it now. And that's really what yourself in 10 years wants you to know, is that even though there's all of this drama, there's always going to be drama. Maybe that's even why we have the Nine of Swords here, because it's talking about how, in the past, they're reflecting and saying, yes, you've been through a lot of stress, but there's always going to be stress. Change is a universal constant. Even if we don't want the change to happen, it's going to happen for our own good, for our own growth, and for our own maturity as well, especially with number 13, death. Now, the interesting thing is that if we rearrange these cards, we would have the number 3 and then the number 4, which is talking about taking things one step at a time, allowing yourself to take things slow and steady, because that's what wins the race. That's what really matters. Now, also with number 13, death, this is talking about maybe an end to a chapter, an end to a way of thinking, a way of looking at life. Maybe this is literally you ending this idea of life is stressful, life is hard, life is worrisome, and stepping into your inner child energy again, stepping into everything's beautiful, everything's okay, everything's going to be fine. Maybe just this energy of expecting the best, because remember when you were a child and just, you would always hope for the best. There'd always be this, well, we'll do better tomorrow, or tomorrow will be a better day. And that's the beauty of childhood innocence. Make sure to tap into that inner child. Do some inner child work as well. Maybe focus even on dolphin healing. Dolphin meditation would be really, really wonderful for some of you that picked this stack. I'm also seeing that, focus on your family. Those of you who already have children, or those of you who, maybe just have a large family, spend time with your family. It also counts for your fur babies, for your pets, for, even if you have like a tank full of fish, go spend time with them, talk to them, interact with them, show them that you really appreciate them and that you love them, because that's the energy of yourself in 10 years. And I feel like for some of you, there's this energy of, I wish that I had looked at life like that a little bit sooner. Like there's almost this reflecting, because you see how she's looking at all of them, but she looks so surprised. She looks really, really shocked. Like, wow, I allowed myself to, worry about all of this, but life is so beautiful. She even has a little bit of like a smirk even. So she's kind of like, you know what? Life is good. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. Also, for some of you, I feel like you might be a little bit overworked in regards to your own expectations of yourself. It's not going to be others. And I just want to throw that out there, because these look like such scary cards, but there's definitely going to be this energy of, maybe you are your own worst critic, or you are your own, worst enemy sometimes. And we have to change that. We have to be our own best friend. Remember how I was saying that she didn't even have to be with anyone? Just being there with her stuffed animal is her best friend. Maybe that's kind of her imaginary friend even, but that all stems from herself. That all stems back to the fact that she can be by herself. She can be, validated by herself and appreciated and feel loved. And maybe that's something that you struggle with, or that you have struggled with, and your future self wants you to know that, you're getting back to basics. You're getting back to what really matters. For some of you, you're also going to be, maybe you're someone who's very outspoken. Maybe you're an advocate. Maybe you're going to be going to a lot of protests. Maybe you're really going to be speaking your mind, and that's incredible, right? So honestly, I feel like it's just going to be incredible time, over the next 10 years, and even where you're at in 10 years, for growth, for transformation, and also for looking at life like a kid again. Now, going forward on to your next few cards, these are your Crow Tarot cards, and these are talking about the journey over the next 10 years, what might happen over those years. So we have the Four of Cups, the Three of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, the Hermit card, the Lover's card, and the Two of Wands. How beautiful! Okay, so right off the bat, let me make a little bit of room. Some of you will have gone through heartbreak because maybe you offered your cup of love and you were rejected. Maybe someone put you in a situationship. I know that I talked about that a little bit earlier. Maybe someone was just kind of leading you on, maybe kind of stringing you forward, keeping you around, keeping you on hold, basically. And maybe you caught on to that and you were like, you know what? I deserve a little bit better. I'm closing out that cycle and I'm starting over brand new. I'm closing that book of my life and I'm opening up a brand new chapter. You know, maybe even just opening up a brand new book in general. Now, also with the Four of Cups, this could also be talking about how maybe for a while, you know, you were being offered cup after cup after cup, but because your heart was broken, you just didn't want to even get back into the dating game again. You know, you were like, I'm going to give it a few years. I'm just going to go off and do my own thing. I'm not even going to worry about it. And the beautiful thing is that with the Lovers, I feel like when you go off and do your own thing by yourself, that's what's going to bring in this partnership. That's what's going to bring in this other person that is really going to respect and love you. But also with the Lovers, I see this as a life path. I see this as, you know, being on your right life path, on being on the right track as well. Again, I keep getting choked up. Oh my goodness. But with the Lovers as well, I feel like the two of you very much complete each other. I also see this as my twin flame card because we have divine masculine and divine feminine energies with the sun and the moon, and with the two kind of sharing one heart together. Now, I also do want to say that this relationship is going to have a very deep spiritual bond, but make sure to be very wise. Be very careful in regards to kind of choosing this person. Allow yourself to be picky. I'm going to just kind of throw it out there because you're going to have a lot of opportunities for love. You're going to have a lot of people that are giving you their cup, that are saying, hey, you want to go out? You want to grab some cheese fries sometimes? And maybe you're staring at all these cups and you're like, wow, it's really nice, until this one cup comes along that's just so good that you can't refuse, right? And maybe that's the energy. Hold out until you find that person that really vibes with you. You know, that person that really does share your interests, that really is interested in you, that's interested in learning about you. This doesn't even have to be someone who's exactly like you, but just someone that appreciates you, someone that cares about you, someone that would do anything for you. And notice how with the Lovers, we have two little crows in the background. So maybe that's literally talking about having children, you know, going off and starting a family together, making a nest, raising those children. But regardless, I also am hearing that maybe for some of you, you're going to be dog trainers together. For others, maybe even zookeepers together. There's just this energy of working together, wanting to work together, wanting to collaborate, wanting to go off and explore the world together, especially with the Two of Wands. This is talking about decisions. Maybe it's going to even be a little bit hard when you have all of these options and all of these, I keep hearing inquiries, like suitor inquiries, like, yes, Madamus, would you mind if we partook in an afternoon tea sometime? And all of these inquiries, and it's just like, you're waiting for that one cup that's going to be absolutely perfect, and it's going to come. I feel like your future self is really telling you that over the next 10 years, focus on yourself until this person comes along that you absolutely could not live without. You know, like if at the end of the day, you can see them meshing into your life so beautifully and supporting you to the point where you could tell them anything. You could tell them about the big poop you took this morning and they're not going to look at you weird. They're not going to judge you. That's when you found a keeper. That's when you know that you have found the person that really mirrors you and mirrors your heart and your soul. For some of you that picked this pile, you're also going to be in a divine twin flame relationship. For others, I feel like maybe this is just going to be a past life relationship partner who's coming back, who wants to have a family with you, and it's going to be able to fulfill that sort of a cycle. Now going forward, before I do that, I do want to say with the Hermit though, allow yourself to light your own path and trust your intuition with the Hermit card. That is one of the biggest lessons that the Hermit card can really offer us, is that we are our strongest light, right? Now going forward onto your next few cards, these are your Botticelli Tarot cards, and these are talking about what your spirit guides want you to know over the next 10 years. So we have the Five of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, lots of Pentacles, the Empress, the Seven of Chalices, and the Three of Swords. I love that we have Three of Swords here, not like love it, but I really, really do like that we have kind of a confirmation that, you know, yes, there is going to be something that's a little bit disappointing. There's going to be something that maybe you didn't even expect. Maybe it just kind of feels like a punch to the gut with this Three of Swords. But it's because there's something better. Do you see how with the Seven of Chalices, it's like your guides are like, come on, keep it moving. There's no one good here. Just keep going. We have someone planned for you. This ghost like looks so tired of this. This angel here is just like, ugh, come on, Meredith, get with it. All you're choosing are these F-boys. Get out of here. Shoo. You know, and she's like, but they buy me hot dogs every Tuesday night. And she's like, I don't care. Think about the future. Think about your emperor. Like, you are literally an empress. You could buy your own hot dogs every Tuesday night. You could buy them on Wednesday night, on Thursday night, and on Friday night too. You don't need Henry and Timothy and Georgie to be able to buy you hot dogs. You just go out and do it, right? They're like, make your own money, go off, buy your own snacks, treat yourself right, and set the foundation for how you want to be treated by this future partner. And that's when they're going to come in. This person is going to come in very small too with their offer. Maybe this is someone who wants to start off as friends. They want to be able to lay the foundation, even though there's a lot of attraction there. You know, because I think both of you potentially even have gone through a lot of heartbreak. But I do want to say as well, that also goes in regards to career. You know, maybe some of you are going to have a lot of opportunities in regards to finances. Just kind of putting it out there in regards to career for those of you who aren't really interested in the love portion. But I do feel like this is very love related, that there are people who are going to settle down and start a family after this period of feeling shut out in the cold, right? But with the Seven of Chalices, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for love, for career, for finances, for community as well. Maybe some of you are also going to be volunteering at soup kitchens, at animal rehabilitation centers. I feel like you're just really going to be making your mark on the world, and it's going to be very beautiful. But your spirit guides want you to know that during the Five of Pentacles, while you're feeling shut out in the cold, focus on yourself, focus on making that money, focus on, you know, gaining that coin, gaining the wisdom as well of that tough time, and then moving forward. Keep progressing. Notice there's this kind of little cherub, and he's like, come on, keep it moving. It's very much like this. I feel like those that pick stack 3 are very divinely guided and very, whoa, and they're both 7s. They're both divinely protected. Oh my gosh, look at that. So, wow. So definitely you are someone who is possibly an indigo child. I feel like you're an empath. I feel like those of you that pick the stack always see the good in people. Look, and then here's your spirit guides being like, come on. This is ridiculous, Margaret. How many times do we have to go over this? He's not good for you. She's not a great lady. Let's just keep moving. Let's keep it going. But I think that you always see the good in people, and your spirit guides are like, yes, we appreciate that you are so sweet. We appreciate that you're caring and respectful and understanding. But at the end of the day, you know, are these people that, you know, you really want to associate with? You know, maybe with the Two of Pentacles, I see this as, I love them because they're so cute, but I see them as like very mischievous, you know, people who are, you know, maybe a little bit cunning or a little bit sly in regards to how they handle the connection. Maybe some of them kept you at an arm's length, literally kept you on hold. And maybe that was really, really tough for you, you know, to kind of come to terms with the fact that they did keep you on hold. And maybe the universe gave you many signs, and for a while you just didn't listen to it. Or maybe this is something that's going to be happening over the next 10 years, but your spirit guides are saying that when you gain signs, when you see synchronicities, maybe 7s, 777, 333, 222, maybe even 555, make sure to pay attention to this. You know, pay attention to what you were thinking about. Pay attention to red flags. If so you start talking to someone and they remind you of an ex, you know, pay attention to that as well, because there might be something that your ex did, you know, that's very reminiscent. You know what I mean? Like in a bad way that kind of triggers you. You know, make sure to address that. Make sure to talk about that with this person as well. Now, with the Knight of Pentacles, this is very much saying that, you know, you're going to take things slow and steady. You're going to take things one day at a time, but things are going to get done at the end of the day. Why? Because you are the Empress, regardless of gender, right? You know, you are someone who is very, very strong in your power. You are someone who is emotionally secure. You're independent. You're someone who can provide for yourself. You know, you can literally do anything that you want and then some. And the person that comes into your life, they better offer that same mess to the table, or you're not going to deal with them at all. You know, why would you deal with Squire over here when you could have an Emperor? Like, you need an Emperor, regardless of gender. Again, you know, don't settle for any old Squire that walks through the door, you know, claiming that they can slay your dragons. You know, get out of here, slay your own dragons, and then have this person meet you up. Or maybe even do it together, right? But you want someone who's going to match your same vibration. Don't fall for people who, you know, give you empty promises, or people who, you know, just kind of give lip service and don't ever deliver on it. With the Two of Pentacles as well, again, focus on your finances, focus on your career, focus on the things that you're very passionate about going forward. So on to your Enchanted Tarot cards. These are going to be closing messages in regards to what you should know for your next 10 years. So we have the Five of Hearts. Oh my goodness. The Star card. So right off the bat, I'm going to just stop right here really quick to talk about the Five of Hearts because it reminds me so much of this Five of Pentacles. I love that we started off with fives because it's definitely talking and highlighting about the fact that change is something that's a universal constant. And yes, it can be very heartbreaking, it can be very devastating as well. But look at this. Notice how at the beginning, you were the person who was shut out in the cold. And now in the Five of Hearts, there's the suitor in the background who's like, man, why didn't I pay attention to that person? It's almost like that song, Want You Back. Oh, baby, give me one more chance to show you that I love you. But what were the lyrics? Sorry, I had to pause the video and sing the song so that I could think about it. Every street you walk on, I leave tear stains on the ground. Following the girl I didn't even want around. And that also kind of ties into the Four of Cups as well. Maybe there was someone who literally denied you time and time again, and now they're looking at you like you're a prize and a half. Why? Because you are. You literally are. But I feel like it took losing them to love yourself. It's almost like that one song, you know, it took losing you to find me. Now with the Star, I feel like you're someone who is going to have a lot of renewed hope and renewed faith, not only in romance, but also in career, in the fact that you can do this, in the fact that you can stand on your own 2 feet and you can take care of yourself. But with the Eight of Hearts, again, there has to be a sacrifice here. There has to be a releasing and a letting go of what no longer serves you, what no longer is, you know, good for you as well. And the Eight of Hearts, you know, it can sometimes be tough, but it also talks about when this comes back into your life, if this comes back into your life, it's going to be for the right reasons. It's not going to be, you know, something that is going to be stressful again. I feel like when you release this person, if there is a person in particular over the next 10 years, you know, maybe this person is going to come back and they're going to want to apologize to you. So hear them out, right? But we do have the Ten of Swords here, so there is going to be some form of painful ending. So again, that kind of clarifies that Death card too, you know, where it's like there's something that's ending, there's a cycle that's closing up, and oh my gosh, and look, we have Death there too. Okay, so we also have the Nine of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, the Hermit, and the Three of Wands. Okay, so again, this cycle is closing up. There's going to be a transformation, a change here, especially double confirmation with 2 Death cards. Now with the Nine of Pentacles, you're focusing on yourself. You are becoming a babe and a half, right? You are someone who is all that in a bag of chips. You know, I feel like you are becoming beautiful / handsome, especially with the Queen of Wands. You're someone who is an entrepreneur. You're a self-starter. You are someone who can take care of themselves and take care of others. I feel like you could literally be the provider for your family. But this is all because with the Hermit showing up twice, you're someone who went off and did their own thing. So make sure to focus on yourself. It's almost like that one song, I'ma do my own thing. I'ma do me. I'ma do my own thing. And it's basically a whole song talking about how you've always been so different compared to everyone else. So why stop now? You know, why is it that, you know, you would settle down and be somewhere that doesn't necessarily appreciate you? Start your own business, start your own career, you know, go towards your dreams, your aspirations, your visions. You know, life is too short to spend it not in your divine power, because you are someone who is incredibly strong and incredibly powerful, incredibly strong-willed, vivacious. And with the Three of Wands, I feel like your ships are going to come in a lot sooner than you think they are. I feel like this is going to be a very quick pile too, in regards to how fast this partner might come in once you start focusing on yourself. Maybe you start focusing on yourself, you get so used to the idea of making your own money, on, you know, bringing in this financial abundance, that maybe even when this person comes in, you're just sort of like, do I really want this? For some of you, you might even be a single parent, and the idea of a partnership for a long time was just sort of like, I don't really know if I want that. But this person that comes in is just going to be so almost too good to be true. So it's almost like it's going to be a very slow burning romance with this person. Also with career, I feel like those kind of bosses in the past, maybe they're going to see how you're really going places and feel a little bit foolish. I feel like there might even be a point in time, this is going to only resonate for a select few of you, maybe they're going to let you go, and then the person that they have doing your job, they're going to not like as much. Like, they're going to reflect on how good of a job you did. Like, maybe you made all the paperwork in the office scented like strawberries, but there was something you did that everyone really appreciated. And I just want you to know that for those of you that, maybe had lost your job and you were just a little bit confused about it, or if they would miss you, I definitely feel like there's this energy that yes, they would. So going forward onto your tea leaf tarot cards, we have carriage, a journey, either physical or mental. So there we go. I definitely feel like you're going on this big journey, discovering who you are and what it is that you want. Reconciliation. Maybe that's why we have the 4 of Cups and all of that with the 5 of Hearts. It's because this person is coming back in. They want to reconcile with you. They want to be with you, but it's up to you. Does this person match your vibration? Is that, are they everything that you ever wanted and then more? Are you willing to maybe put up with the tomfoolery, or even put your foot down and say to them, well, you have to conversate with me like a normal human being. You have to have conversations. You have to talk to me. You have to care about me. Forest, muddled, unclear thinking. It could even be that you have so much emotions in this, or maybe you've known this person for so long that you're really considering reconciliation, but your thinking is a little bit muddy. Maybe you can't see the forest for the trees. Now with mule, I was gonna say mule. With mule, someone is extremely stubborn. There we go, and unwilling to change. Remember how I was saying, are you willing to put your foot down and make sure that this person doesn't do it again? Because I feel like they would. And I don't think that it's knowingly. I don't think that they go out of their way to not talk to you or to like kind of cross you. I just feel like they don't know any other way. Maybe for some of them, they're really scared of committing. For some of them, they just have a really hard time keeping up with romantic relations because they're so focused on career. But I feel like someone is very stubborn. For others of you, I feel like maybe that job is going to come back as well earlier that I talked about. Maybe they want to get you back as well. Maybe there's going to try to be a reconciliation there, but you're just sort of like, no, I was worked so hard there. I don't want to go back to that. But we do have Cup. You should accept valid criticism. So again, maybe the two of you are going to be talking this out, you and this person. Maybe you're even going to be saying, yeah, I admit, I don't think that I was the best in this situation. I don't think that I was right, but I definitely don't think that you were either. With Jug, it says lighthearted, carefree time. So spend time by yourself. There we go. This is literally lighthearted, carefree time. This beautiful girl here. Beautiful, lighthearted, carefree time. Make sure to spend time with yourself, right? Make sure to listen to music. Make sure to kind of go towards things that you're very hungry for in life. My stomach just growled and it made me think of going towards things that you're very hungry for, kind of lighting that fire underneath you. But also with lighthearted, carefree time, I also feel like this is talking about, allow yourself to withdraw from others. Allow yourself to turn your phone off for the weekend, and just be by yourself. Maybe that's even why we have this card here, because it's like, allow yourself to just kind of pack up for the weekend, go on, a little adventure to the beach. Allow yourself to just kind of sit there and take in the view. And we also have Shark, take care or there will be a loss of material wealth. Maybe even with the 5 of Pentacles and the 4 of Cups and all that, maybe this is talking about if you become too enmeshed in the situation or too heartbroken or focus too purely on that, I feel like it's going to take away from your career. It's going to take away from your finances. But at the end of the day, you are cut out for success. So nothing is going to come between you and success. Now we also have Tree, affairs with your family. Now it could be that maybe someone from your family is going to come back. Maybe someone wants to reconcile with you. Maybe there's also someone in your family who is a little bit sick. Maybe they're going to go through a little bit of healing. But regardless, I feel like community is going to be very important over the next 10 years. Cain, pay attention to your health. There we go. So I was just saying that maybe someone in your family is struggling a little bit with health. There we go. Maybe you are as well. Make sure to take care of yourself. Make sure to also take care of this person as well. We have pale, time to get out of a situation. And maybe that's even with this person who wants to reconcile with you, who's very stubborn. Don't feel like you're obligated or you're expected or you have to take this person back or you have to bring them back into your life or trust them again. But we do have wishbone. A wish is granted. So a very sincere wish that you made is going to be granted. I feel like it's in regards to career. It could even just be in regard to this person reaching out. Maybe you just wanted closure from this person. Maybe you just wanted this person to say why they were so stubborn or why they treated you that way or why they didn't want to accept your cup of love. But regardless, I definitely feel like your wish is granted here. And we also have feather. Someone you know is undependable and insincere. There we go. So I think it's this person who is the mule, who's very stubborn. You know, again, notice how the mule is just kind of going forward and dragging this person along who's holding on for dear life. It makes me feel like this person was just kind of leading you on. Like they liked the attention. They liked the time and the care that you gave them. And maybe that's something that over the 10 years you're kind of ruminating on and you're healing and you're letting go of and you're saying, there was nothing wrong with me. You know, this was a reflection on them because I was a wish come true as well. So we also have goldfish, increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. There we go. Beautiful. So definitely, I feel like it's both too. I feel like you're both going to be materially wealthy and spiritually wealthy as well. Hills, obstacles to overcome, but you're going to overcome them very graciously and in a way that's fun because hills are a lot more easier to climb than mountains, you know, so I feel like it's going to just be a matter of time before you get where you're going. A matter of time, right? Get it? Because it's a clock. But we also have tankard, celebration, fun, and enjoyment. There's going to be a lot of happiness to be had, a lot of carefree time, you know, even a lot of happiness. We also have bell. There's going to be an announcement, maybe an announcement that someone's going to get engaged. Staff, you will be taken care of in difficult times. This could even be by your family. But I feel like this is the universe. I feel like the universe is protecting you and is guiding you going forward. We also have rainbow. The most difficult part of this situation is over. Yes! And that's why we have death here so many times, because it's talking about even though it's been tough, even though you've known hardships and trials and tribulations, it is over now. You are going towards beautiful times going forward. We also have bull. Do not back down from opposition. Show strength and fortitude. You know, again, don't back down against these people. Stand your ground. You are the empress, regardless of gender. You know, you are someone who is a prize and a half. So don't settle for less. Pig, beware of greed. And I feel like maybe that refers to that person, that maybe this person's very greedy. Now we have funnel, period of frustration, lessons to be learned. And there we go. That's why this is going to be such a hard pill to swallow, this situation, because it's like, I did everything right. I was the perfect person to them. I was the perfect man/woman. I was, you know, everything that they could have wanted and then some, and they didn't like that, you know, but I think it was because they were greedy. And, you know, it doesn't even have to be in a bad way. It's funny with pig, if you look up the definition of greed, or what is it, of selfishness, the definition is greedy and pig-like. So I definitely feel like with that sort of an energy, you know, maybe this person just really wanted attention. It's like that one song, you just want attention, you don't want my heart, maybe you just hate the thought of me with someone new. So maybe it's that sort of an energy too, like they don't want you to be with anyone else, but they don't want to be with you either, which is a very strange energy. But we do have dog, close-up pleasure with a close friend. Maybe there's also going to be a friend that's stepping in that you never thought of as a romantic partner, and that's something that's going to be really beautiful. But at the end of the day, I really do feel like the two of you are going to start off very slow as friends and work your way up to a romantic level, just because you are a little bit cautious and you're a little bit skeptical. Notice how she's looking away from him, like, yeah, whatever, I don't want what you're selling, kid, just turn around and leave. I've seen it all before. I don't want any cookies. I don't want any Swiss Army knives. Just go. And this guy's just sort of like, well, I mean, I have this. I mean, do you have any pentacles? And then she's just sort of like, come over here and show it to me, right? But I feel like you're really saving your time and energy for those that are kind of worthy of it. So going on to your last card, we have November. So November could be very important. It could be your birthday. It could be when there's going to be a big celebration. It could be when you're going to get married or hand fasted. Maybe that's even when you're going to meet this person. Maybe their birthday is in November. But I definitely feel like November is going to be a very influential month for you over the next 10 years. So thank you so much again, Stack 3, for watching this video. Oh my goodness, I am so excited for you guys. There are so many beautiful abundances and blessings right around the horizon for you. You know, even though you have been through so many trials and tribulations, I feel like you're really going to turn these disappointments into something beautiful, into something that will help you bloom as a person as well, and bring a lot more depth to you too. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Leave a comment down below if you did, telling me if you resonated, and also leave a like if you have not already. Hit that subscribe button too, and also the bell icon to be notified every time that I upload a new reading. I really hope that you will take the time to comment as well, because I read each comment. I'm so thankful for you guys. You guys are like the highlight of my day every day. I hope that you're staying in good health and doing amazing. I'm really proud of you guys, and I'm proud of all that you're going to accomplish, right? So keep me updated on what happens over the next 10 years. But I have all of my links in the description box down below as well if you're interested in your own personalized reading, or if you are interested in any crafts that I make. I have all of my links down below. I also have the link to my wish list. But yeah, I hope that you are doing amazing, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!